Let's bring in Dean Aston. And I noticed Dean Aston on a slot was on the touchline watching the warm-up, and it was quite a focused watch of the warm-up. He wasn't out there just casually glancing. There was a serious look on his face as he walked away. What was he doing?
Probably to help him prepare for what he's going to say to the players before they go out. Maybe picking up on something that he feels need to be addressed before the game. You know, it's all about standards every single day, every single warm-up, before every single game at this level, if you want to keep at the top. And I think that's probably what's in the back of his mind. He knows how big this game is. You've talked about how the momentum can swing depending on the result this evening, and a difficult place to come with the atmosphere of a game under the lights here at Villa Park. Just wants his players to focus, I'm sure.
It's one of those special places under the lights, Villa Park. No question about it. And this is a huge game. Teams are in the tunnel. Just lately, Villa, not in great Premier League form. Dean, no winning four. What's been going wrong for them?
Defensively, they've been very, very poor. I know that they've had huge defensive injury issues. Pau Torres been out for a long time. Konsa currently. Mings obviously coming back from that long layoff. Diego Carlos moving on because of his poor performances. Bringing in Disasi. And ultimately as well, as he was announced in the warm-up, the world's #1 goalkeeper, a one-man hype man himself. But ultimately, you've got to keep the ball out the back of your net, and they haven't done it. I mean, you know, at this stage of the season, the bottom three are the only three that have kept fewer clean sheets than Aston Villa. And
wow.
that's quite a shocking stat for a team that's got the ambition that this club has got. So defensively, they've got to get it right, and what a test. What a test this is.
Are you not having Emi Martinez then?
No, there's times when I love his demeanour. I love how he affects forward players because of his attitude, because of his antics. I love all of that at times. But then there's the regular game in, game out, where I think he's had a lot of poor performances. He's made quite a few silly errors also this season, and I just hope it's not gone to his head a little bit, the success he's had individually, because his performances I don't think have been particularly that good this season.
That's interesting. I spoke to a Villa fan just before we came on air who said his performances this season have dipped. So it's bang on that. I want to talk to you about Diogo Jota. He's not even very good at diving, so why does he bother doing it?
I know. In this day and age with the cameras and VAR, there's no way you're going to get away from it. And another thing that just blows my mind is he's not even on pens. So I could half understand it if he was on the pens himself, because I've been there and I've done it myself, because I was on pens and I wanted the penalty. Why does he not want to score? It has to be ingrained in him, you know, coming through as a youngster right the way through, as if that's what happens when you go through to win a penalty. It's not anymore. You look very, very silly when you do it.
Yeah, do you think his manager will have had a word?
I think this is really interesting because it's never really spoken about in the dressing room. It's never addressed. In fact, sometimes, especially if you do win the penalty, it's applauded. And I don't know whether that has changed. I haven't been in a dressing room for a very long time, and I'm not sure whether it ever will because of the advantages of it. I'd love it if there was managers that when they get in the dressing room go, put it in the back of the net. Well, like, what are you thinking about? You know, I'd love to know if managers are starting to say those things.
Well, we'll see if he tries it again tonight. Aston Villa, Liverpool, the teams are out on the pitch. The smoke, hopefully it will be clearing. You can tell it's a big match. You can tell it's a night game under the lights. There's a proper big match atmosphere that's been ramped up ahead of kick-off by the Villa Park faithful ahead of this one. Ollie Watkins got a hat-trick here when Villa thrashed Liverpool 7-2 in October 2020. Since then, Villa haven't been able to beat the Reds. Arsenal want that record to change tonight here at Villa Park. Live and exclusive on Talksport. It's Aston Villa against Liverpool in the Premier League with your commentary team of former England striker Dean Aston alongside Jim Proudfoot.
Thank you, Adrian, and a very good evening to you. And as we reach two-thirds distance in this season's title race, there isn't a Reds fan who wouldn't have taken the situation back in August. Just one league defeat so far, 60 points in 25 games. And in the history of the competition, only one side's ever had more points at this stage of the season and not gone on to be crowned champions. So when disappointments are so isolated, every bump in the road appears magnified, the setback so removed from the norm abnormal concerns. For Liverpool, the need to draw a line under what's just gone. A week of Devon and hell in the FA Cup, dramatic derby to Newmont that saw points and tempers lost, and Sunday's shotless second half that frayed the nerves at Anfield. So now the time to draw breath, reset, and in the words of one Reds legend, to go again. Villa's ups and downs have been even more pronounced. They've been the thrills of a Champions League campaign with more yet to come, but inconsistencies in the league that undermine their chances of a European return. Their last 3 league games have been against sides in the current bottom 5. They haven't won any of them, and they too seek improvement and a return to old ways. And in that regard, they've made 2 big calls tonight. Full debuts for Marco Asensio and Marcus Rashford. Rashford, whose last Premier League start, Dean Ashton, was back on December the 1st.
Well, obviously a confidence boost in terms of that free kick that came off the crossbar and Ollie Watkins scoring. This feels like quite a big night, actually, both for Marcus Rashford and for Asensio. Both incredibly talented players in their own right, but wanting to make a fresh start, wanting to reinvigorate their careers. One opportunity to do it against the current league leaders.
Aston Villa in claret and blue, defending the hold end away to our right-hand side. Martinez in goal, Garcia, Disasi, Mings and Digne, McGinn and Tielemans, Rodgers, Asensio, Rashford and Watkins. Liverpool, Alisson in goal, Alexander-Arnold, Konate, Van Dijk and Robertson, Gravenberch and McAllister, Szoboszlai and Jones, Salah and Jota. We're underway. Liverpool in their change kit of white shirts, black shorts. They're kicking from left to right. They're defending the north stand away to our left-hand side. The chance for Liverpool to move 10 points clear, or for Villa to do Arsenal a massive favour and reignite their own top 5 hopes in the process. Villa without a win in 4 Premier League games, but a really good record here. Only 1 home defeat in 19 coming into this game tonight, which was the cup defeat against Palace. Ball played forward through the midfield for Curtis Jones, who just has his legs taken away from underneath him by Asensio. And it's a free kick that will be taken by Liverpool's Virgil van Dijk. Play forward towards Jones again, now towards Robertson, who's making his 300th Premier League appearance today. And Van Dijk receiving the ball at the heart of the Liverpool defence, turning and waiting for a little bit of movement. Salah will provide that. High ball forward, but Digne had his run covered and can nod it through the midfield. Tielemans makes a mess of his first touch, seized upon by Szoboszlai. Jota will get it out towards the left-hand side for Robertson. Curtis Jones coming forward to support. And he'll now make a run on the overlap for Robertson. Scotsman playing him in, down towards the corner flag. Jones can check back and receive another ball from Robertson. The two just having their own individual game for 5-10 seconds there before the ball goes back for Virgil van Dijk. Again, Villa compact and keeping a tight regimented shape behind the ball, despite the fact that they've got this preponderance of attacking options. Now Liverpool can work it forward again, and Robertson will pick up the ball and just lay it back for Alexis McAllister in the midfield.
Well, they do like 4-4-2 or 4-2-4 out of possession, Villa. And that's what they've set up to start with Marcus Rashford tucked in and Morgan Rodgers the same on the opposite side. As we look at Liverpool's setup, it's not the box 4 in midfield, it's Jones out on that left-hand side, but will naturally tuck in and allow Robertson to give the width on the left-hand side, and Salah in his normal position with Szoboszlai and McAllister just in front of Gravenberch.
And Andy Robertson has won the first corner of the night. And Andres Garcia can testify just how firmly he hits those balls inside the penalty area. Garcia back on his feet, having ended up wearing that, struck him firmly in the ribcage and winded him. He's okay. But it is an early Liverpool corner inside the 3rd minute here at Villa Park on Talksport. Still 0-0. Now the goalkeeper has even had a touch of the ball as yet. This corner works short on the Liverpool left. Pulled back towards Jones, outside the penalty area. A trend even deeper, scoops it in. Van Dijk with a right-footed volley, cutting across it, but he's arrowed it over the crossbar and into the hold end.
Cheeky from Alexander-Arnold. he's so inventive. He just sees things, but he's able to produce it from a standing position. It's just a little flick almost with the outside of his right foot. Just seeing that little movement from Van Dijk in behind the Villa defence. He let it bounce and then just tried to volley it with his right foot and dip it underneath Martinez's head. Couldn't quite do it, but why Tielemans is marking Van Dijk from set plays is beyond me.
Well, it was a well-worked first corner, and now they've immediately got a second because Villa were playing out from the back. There was pressure applied to McGinn, and McGinn hit the ball back behind Disasi and straight out of play for a corner. Very cheap concession. So 4 minutes in, Liverpool with the second corner. First one was worked short, this one won't be. Van Dijk again is waiting, and once more, as Dean Ashton was saying, he's being detailed here by Yuri Tielemans inside the penalty area, which seems a mismatch. In comes the corner, it's a little bit deeper. Van Dijk going up for it on the edge of the 6-yard box. 2 Villa headers get the ball away. And then the ball is swept back in towards the far post once more. Salah was waiting. Digne's header takes it out of his path, but he's still going to be able to recover and gets a return ball from Alexander-Arnold. He's worked square. A right-footed effort coming in from Jota from the edge of the penalty area. Might have been going in the bottom left-hand corner. It was knocked away. Unorthodox but very effective defending by the Villa back line. I think it was Tyrone Mings that got in the way, and it goes out of play for another Liverpool throw. But they've started well. 5 gone 0-0.
Yeah, really sharp start from Liverpool.
And a good throw inside the penalty area here for McAllister, who can't work a cross back in. Might break on the edge of the penalty area for Robertson, and he drives it across the edge of the 6-yard box. And Tyrone Mings, that many thought got the last touch, might just have flicked it into Jota. It has gone out of play for what has been given as a goal kick, but all Liverpool in the opening 5 minutes here.
2 excellent bits of defending though from Tyrone Mings, wanting to get himself match fit. Brilliant block from Jota's strike, just got himself into a good position, and then made sure he got across when Jota was trying to nip in at the near post from the Robertson cross, but too easy on this right hand side. Digne committing himself, allowing Salah in behind. Needs to do much better than that.
And here's John McGinn again as Villa are determined to play out from the back, and again he's given it away. This time to Alexander-Arnold on the edge of the penalty area, whose ball flagged it in, is headed wide. Half chance for Jota, and he didn't come close to putting it away. But Villa looking panic-stricken in the face of this Liverpool press.
Brilliant press that it is. They've got to recognise that. I wouldn't mind, you've got an Ollie Watkins, a Rashford up there. You can just fizz that in behind. It doesn't have to be whacked forward. It can be played down the side to let them chase after it and just relieve that pressure. They're trying to play out again though.
Work short, firstly to Mings, then back for Martinez. Now out to Disasi. And the player on loan from Chelsea can flight it forward. Watkins playing with his back to the direction of play. Just chests it down. Trying to get Morgan Rogers through the midfield. He's laid it off for Asensio, who was fouled in the process. And the referee Pawson has given Villa the advantage with Marcus Rashford right in front of us. Finding Tielemans. Tielemans, a little reverse ball inside the penalty area that Rogers read but couldn't pick up. And Alexander-Arnold can clear after a fashion. Only as far as Luca Digne. Back from him to Rashford. Rashford, no way past Trent Alexander-Arnold. Salah keeping it on the right-hand touchline. Ball is stabbed forward, and then Szoboszlai in so quickly, almost able to dispossess Tielemans. And Villa will bring it forward again with Rashford. Clever little flick from Watkins, edge of the penalty area. Rogers couldn't get there in time. Van Dijk clears his lines. And then Salah with a surreptitious but effective nudge on Mings. Just unbalanced him as he was preparing to bring the ball down out of the sky. Villa might have got a free kick for that. The fans and the Villa bench certainly thought it was worthy of it, but the players by and large were unmoved. Van Dijk in possession, plays the ball to his left. We're 7.5 minutes in here in the second city, and it's Villa 0, Liverpool 0. And McGinn's done really well that time defensively to win it back and then win a free kick from Curtis Jones.
I mean, Tyrone Mings I don't think he was expecting the strength, was he, of Mohamed Salah. He was lucky in the end that didn't get played over the top. Made of Egyptian rock, Salah. He's one of those players you just don't expect it, and you just see him shrugging players off with his strength and his trickery.
You're listening to Aston Villa against Liverpool on Talksport with Sky Sports. And don't forget, you can stream the biggest Premier League games, available with no contract on Now. Just search for Now Sports. First result of the day. Dortmund 0, Sporting 0. That's enough for Dortmund to make it through, and they could end up playing Villa in the round of 16 in the Champions League. There's a 50-50 chance Villa know that they will be playing against either Dortmund or the Belgian side Club Brugge. Sporting eliminated after the 3-0 defeat in the first leg. Real Madrid against Manchester City, one of 3 Champions League ties, kicking off at 8 o'clock. And Ian Dander and Stuart Pearce are talking you through the action of that one on Talksport 2. And the conclusion of that game will follow on at the end of this one. Villa on the front foot here. Almost the first time they got round the edge of the penalty area, and if they won a corner, no, not quite. The cross blocked by Robertson just ricochets off the Scotsman and goes the other side of the corner flag for a Villa throw, which has been taken quickly. Back from Andres Garcia. And now through the midfield for Yuri Tielemans. Tielemans put under immediate pressure, lays it back for Mings. Disasi, McGinn, who's playing the 500th game of his club career tonight. Back out towards Garcia again. Now a little 1-2 over on the far touchline with Morgan Rogers heavily involved. A wonderful hat-trick that he scored here in the Champions League against Celtic. Mings clipping the ball down to this near touchline for Rashford. Rashford's first touch was poor, just presented it straight to Salah. Gravenberch now for Alexander-Arnold. Showed a little bit too much of it to Asensio. And then as Gravenberch takes over, Rashford deflects it off the island and out of play for a Liverpool throw inside their own half. We're through the opening 10 minutes here on Talksport and still largely chanceless at 0-0.
Yeah, it was worth just taking a little picture there almost of the Liverpool defence. Something you rarely saw under Jurgen Klopp. A side that came right back into a defensive position. Even Mohamed Salah and Jota both into a good defensive position, nice and organised, nice and deep. And it's just a slight change, isn't it, from Arne Slot when they don't have possession at times to be happy to sit deeper.
Now looking at the Liverpool formation now, they started as the customary 4-3-3. They've now gone back into what we anticipated that it might be, with Jones and Szoboszlai through the middle and Jota out towards the left-hand side and Salah on the right. So it is that 4-man box midfield, almost a sort of a 4-2-4-0 that they're playing. Well, I mentioned in the build-up that they did it very effectively in a League Cup tie at Brighton earlier this season that they won. Villa on the front foot here, though, with Asensio. Down towards Rashford. Rashford running towards the edge of the penalty area. Really well read by Konate, who steps up from the defensive line and knocks the ball away. And then Jota helps it on through the midfield, but can't find Salah. Tielemans and Mings winning it back. Home crowd appreciating that as Aston Villa get the ball back inside the centre circle. And now Disasi will exchange passes with Rogers. I think Axel Disasi thought about going all the way back for Martinez, but realised that he had McGinn on. And can now work it out towards the right for Garcia instead. Andres Garcia, the Spaniard who signed from Levante in a £6 million deal in the transfer window, a transfer window in which Aston Villa were really heavily involved, including bringing this man to the club, Marco Asensio, and this one, Rashford back inside the box. Asensio chased after it. Konate did his best to hit Dean Ashton with the clearance. He's knocked it about 10 foot short and goes out of play for a throw.
It's my worst fear now, a ball coming towards me.
Do you know what? I've sat in press box. I've been lucky enough to do it for 35 years. I've never been hit. I'm very, very close to being hit once, but only once in 35 years. And I wouldn't have the ability to head it back like you can, so you'll be all right. Here's Jota. The referee's given a free kick against Szoboszlai.
It's been a good couple of minutes, though, hasn't it, for Aston Villa? Better, good possession. Getting it out wide quickly towards Marcus Rashford. Asensio getting a feel of the football. Just thought when Rashford darted in field, I want to see him shoot in those positions. He just got half a yard. He could easily have taken the shot on, tried to play it in towards Asensio's feet. He's got the ability when he shifts it outside the area to really test any goalkeeper.
So an Aston Villa attacking free kick. And Asensio's going to take this. He has very deliberately placed the ball down. I reckon that's 17 yards outside the penalty area. Very nearly 3 big green bands of grass outside the box. He's raised his right arm above his head. Liverpool are keeping a line on the edge of the D. Left-footed ball swept inside the box. It's headed away by Konate. He goes out towards Garcia on the right-hand side of the penalty area. That's a good ball in. Alisson punches it clear, though. Comes back out for Tielemans, who volleys it through the penalty area. It bounces once, back outside the box again, and Trent will clear for Liverpool. Forward to Disasi, who's still forward, and his trickery's taken him past Gravenberch. Excellent play. Good 1-2 with Rashford, and the ball across the edge of the 6-yard box is put behind by Konate for the first Aston Villa corner. Well played, Axel Disasi.
Yeah, really good. Just sensed that Gravenberch was there. Just let him get nice and tight and then used his strength to roll away from him. Little good combination with him and Rashford. He tried to do the right thing. He tried to flash that across the 6-yard box. Konate coming across.
Liverpool defending zonally. 5 inside the 6-yard box. No Villa players anywhere near them. Mings is waiting. Rashford to take this corner from the Aston Villa left. 14 gone, 0-0. It's worked back outside the penalty area for McGinn. Back for Rashford again. Right-footed in, swinger far too close to Alisson. It was on target as a shot, but as a cross, it was far too heavily hit for Watkins to be able to get on the end of. Alisson catches it and quickly bowls it out towards the Liverpool left-hand side here for Diogo Jota, who will take on and beat Rodgers and then turn it back off the England international and out of play for a throw which has been taken quickly and worked back towards halfway for Curtis Jones. 14 minutes gone, 0-0 here on Talksport. Just about to kick off in the Championship. Luton against Plymouth. The bottom two in action, and we'll keep you updated as soon as anything of consequence happens. Tielemans coming forward here, and Szoboszlai, well, I thought, lend into him, and referee Craig Pawson just waves a finger and says no foul. Szoboszlai then turns as Tielemans slides in to make a challenge and ends up missing ball and man by a couple of yards, and then he has an angry little tete-a-tete with the referee, but play continues with Liverpool's Virgil van Dijk.
I agree with the referee. I think Tielemans took too long to make the decision. Szoboszlai just got himself into a good position, was too strong for him. Tielemans looking for the foul, throwing himself once he felt that contact.
Van Dijk, what a ball over the top for Szoboszlai. The angle was right, actually overhit, and it's gone through for Emi Martinez. My eyes deceive me, but it just looked as though he got it right, and Villa's high line had been breached by the Hungarian. That's the kind of pass they're looking to play.
Yeah, they are. It's a terrific run from Szoboszlai. Van Dijk will be annoyed with himself. He's got such great distribution from that back line. But that's what they might be getting joy from, is that close-knit midfield for Liverpool with Jones and Szoboszlai coming narrow and then darting off the back of Tielemans and McGinn.
This is a game that was supposed to be being played, as you know, on the League Cup final weekend. We'll bring you the League Cup final. Liverpool against Newcastle United is live here on Talksport on the third Sunday in March. We've got more live Premier League action for you Friday night as Leicester take on Brentford. Fox is hoping to be able to manoeuvre themselves out of the bottom three. That's an 8 o'clock kick-off Friday night here on Talksport. Rashford on the front foot here for the Villa and gets it back from Asensio, clips it across the edge of the 6-yard box. Flag is up as the ball is put in the net. It will, of course, be checked, but I think the decision is probably correct. Really well worked down the left-hand side of the penalty area. Ball flashed across by Marcus Rashford. Might have been Watkins or indeed a Liverpool defender that got the last touch, but I think the flag was up correctly from Steve Meredith, the assistant referee, and that this one will be ruled out.
Yeah, I just felt as if maybe Marcus Rashford, when he got the return, it was lovely footwork. He just shifted it to the left and then back in towards Asensio, and then when it was played back towards him, he just strayed. A really, really good line, though. That doesn't work if Konate and Van Dijk aren't switched on and don't notice that and keep a good line.
And then it's been given away by Alisson, trying to play out from the back and bailed out by Konate. Alexander-Arnold works it through the midfield. Now Salah, lovely little reverse ball from him. Martinez has come out. He wasn't going to get there. Mings sweeps up in front of him. Curtis Jones would have been there first and able to nudge it past Martinez outside the box. It was really good defending from Mings.
Oh, I mean, sickeningly good pass from Alexander-Arnold to start that off from right back. He just reverses it, doesn't look, reverses it into Salah, who picked up a great position, opened the space up, and then there was Szoboszlai.
As a shot comes in for the left-hand side of the penalty area here from Jota. Martinez was very happy he was going to be drifting wide. Might have been a little bit closer than he thought. Has gone out of play for a goal kick.
And he just kept himself onside, Diogo Jota. He had an instant look across after he'd taken the volley. So difficult, coming over your right shoulder, over the top towards your left foot to strike it. Got to time it perfectly. Didn't quite time it right and just cut across it.
So we're 18 minutes in here on Talksport, and it's still 0-0. Villa have had the ball in the net for what would have been a Van Dijk own goal, but a brilliant line from him and Konate meant that the flag came up correctly. The VAR check upheld the decision of offside. The Villa's joys tended to come down the left-hand side of the penalty area. Some nice touches from Rashford, who already looks a player rejuvenated after his loan move here. And Liverpool getting their joy with balls over the top of the high Villa line for the runs from central midfield for Jones and Szoboszlai. And the two have worked well here. Szoboszlai played in by Jones. Martinez comes out, made himself big, and was able to get something behind it to make the save.
Yeah, and at times now that Villa back line is looking too flat because there's diagonal runs from the likes of Jones and Szoboszlai from those positions. Again, brave goalkeeping, I should say, from Martinez. Had to come out quickly and go down to the feet of Szoboszlai.
19 minutes in here. Still 0-0. You sense that it probably won't be for long. Villa turning the ball through the midfield. Rodgers passing it straight into the referee, who raises his right hand to apologise. Nothing he could do. It was a whack straight at Craig Pawson from relatively close range. The ball that was intended for Rashford. Play will restart with a drop ball. To take charge of Liverpool's FA Cup win against Villa here 4 years ago, Craig Pawson. It's a fixture in which they've had a lot of joy, Liverpool. Ball inside the penalty area here is headed away by Gravenberch. Then McGinn will pick it up, but trying to flick the ball first time for Garcia. He's just knocked it past him and straight out of play for a throw. Yeah, Villa have only taken 5 points from the last 14 league games with Liverpool. They're only winning that time. That extraordinary 7-2 success here back in 2020, which was the first time that the reigning English champions had conceded 7 in a game for it was about 60 years, something like that. It was an extraordinary night here. Liverpool have scored at least twice in each of their last 7 visits. And they're looking to get on the front foot here. The good ball played into space on the right-hand side. Salah there first. Digne defended it expertly. Stood in the way. Salah tried to nutmeg him. Digne came away with the ball. And that's played down towards Rashford, who returns it to the Frenchman. Back through the midfield, but it was a little bit of a languid touch, really, a little bit lazy. Tielemans had to rescue it. McGinn can work it out towards Andres Garcia. Back for the Scotsman John McGinn. On the halfway line and under pressure from Jota as he works the ball back through the midfield. Now Tielemans. Now towards Andres Garcia again. Seen a fair bit of it. He's certainly one of the 2 full-backs that is given the more licence to push forward down the Aston Villa right-hand side. Played back to him by Asensio. Rodgers coming to meet it. And then Gravenberch won it back. The referee just gave himself a little bit of thinking time and then has given the free kick Villa's way.
I mean, it's all so intricate, isn't it? It's so congested in the middle of the pitch because Liverpool are playing a high line, Aston Villa are playing a high line. There's just no space other than out wide.
Garcia trying to make the most of that space in a wide position. Gets to the byline. Header comes in from Gravenberch to get it away from Watkins. And puts it out for another corner, which is Aston Villa's second of the night. They'll go across and take it with Asensio over on the right-hand side. Really entertaining opening quarter of the game. Still 0-0. Martinez, the busier of the 2 keepers. Corner taken short again by Villa. Work back outside the area for McGinn. Left-footed, it's curved in. And Alisson has to, in taking a couple of steps back, push it away. The referee has stopped play because McAllister is down by the penalty spot inside his own penalty area. There was a collision off the ball there. Did he just run into Disasi, or was there something a little bit more from the Frenchman?
I mean, look, to start with, Disasi's definitely he's got a yellow card. I think he could be slightly fortunate. He definitely raises his hands. Whether he makes particularly much contact, but his hands are up as he turned to shrug McAllister away. I mean, McAllister starts it. Sounds like kids. McAllister starts it by grabbing him and almost hugging him and won't let him move when he's trying to get himself free in the penalty area. Disasi then just turns around to shrug him off, and obviously, because of the height difference, just shrugs him straight into the face. McAllister still down, holding his face.
Well, it is an incident that will be inspected by the VAR, Alex Chilovic, as to exactly how much of a case Disasi has to answer. But no suggestion that the on-field decision of yellow card is going to be upgraded. But still, McAllister is down. He's not receiving treatment from the Liverpool medical staff, just being attended to by his teammates. Now, play's going to resume with a Liverpool free kick inside their own penalty area. 24 minutes gone. It's 0-0 between Villa and Liverpool here on Talksport. And our coverage is brought to you with Enterprise Rent-A-Car. Enterprise has 450 branches with all the vehicles that your business needs. Don't forget, a choice of listening for you on the Talksport network again tonight. Coming up at 8 o'clock, 5 minutes time, they'll be kicking off over on Talksport 2 in that game between Real Madrid and Manchester City. Where City need to win by 1 to even take the game to extra time. A sneaking suspicion they might be able to do it. Talksport 2 is the place. Jota heading it on, trying to get the better of Garcia. And then nods it into space down the left-hand touchline, quickly gets there and checks back. Under pressure from Rodgers, he's played it back for Van Dijk. McAllister's okay. He's able to continue. Van Dijk into the feet of the former Brighton man, the Argentinian of Scottish extraction. Back from Gravenberch to Van Dijk. Van Dijk worked through the midfield again. He's inside the centre circle and passes to Curtis Jones. Liverpool's build-up very patient from the back again. 0-0 here on Talksport, and here's the former English striker Dean Ashton.
I think both teams are nervy in the sense of, because of that dynamism that both front lines bring, they're just a bit wary to give the ball away because they know that the opposition will pounce.
Alexander-Arnold hooking the ball inside the penalty area. It's chested down on the edge of the box by Jota, knocked away by Mings, and should be easily cleared. It is by Asensio. He's sensibly played it back for Luca Digne. His clearance not the best. Alexander-Arnold was bravely able to block it and then wins the seconds, and Szoboszlai's got it. And Emery stands doing his best Wurzel-Gummidge impression on the edge of the penalty, on the edge of the technical area with his hands outstretched. He was furious at the way that Liverpool have been able to win the ball back. But when the cross came inside the penalty area, the header from Salah was way off target.
Oh, it was, but it's a chance. It's a really nice ball from Robertson, who's narrow, but still just feeds it in. Salah gets away from Digne, and in behind Tyrone Mings, he sees it all the way, and it just comes off the top of his head. Rather than the forehead and powering it downwards into the net, it comes off the top of his head and flicks up and over the crossbar. It's a chance for Salah.
Van Dijk heading the latest long clearance away. Konate can help it further clear. It'll be mopped up over on the right-hand side by Garcia, but his first touch was a poor one. Seized upon by McAllister. Andy Robertson making it under his left-hand side. He's inside the penalty area. Jota after a deflection. Szoboszlai, then McAllister. And it's blocked by Villa, and they're going to be able to bring it away. They don't get too far. McAllister nicked in and got between Garcia and the ball. Contact then inevitable. And it's a free kick which will be taken over on the Liverpool left-hand side. 0-0.
Yeah, Garcia just felt like he had the beating of McAllister on the break. Just tried to push it past him at the wrong angle. McAllister just came across and just landed on the ball, which is why he's winded himself. But once again, Liverpool on the edge of the area, combining well, looking to strike from distance, and Villa defending reasonably well.
Let me flag up the games that take place in a week's time. So that's week 27 of the Premier League season. Villa in action away at Palace on Tuesday. And we've got that live for you on Talksport 2 Liverpool take on Newcastle, an 8:15 kickoff on Wednesday. That one is live for you on Talk Radio. If you've got the Talksport app, it's very easy just to flick between Talksport, Talksport 2 and Talk Radio. You're going to need it next week because we've got all 10 Premier League games across round 27. That's Tuesday, Wednesday and Thursday. All 10 of those games will be available on either Talksport, Talksport 2, Talk Radio or the Talksport app. Let me remind you, Liverpool-Newcastle, a week tonight. That's on Talk Radio. Inside the penalty area now, Jota, Salah, 1-0. Villa giving it away again. Jota able to make his way forward on the left-hand side of the penalty area. Just rolled it square. Mo Salah could not miss. And 28 minutes in, it's Liverpool that have the breakthrough. And as things stand right now, the lead at the top of the Premier League is in double figures.
Well, unzip the floor and jump yourself in, Andreas Garcia. It's a horrible, horrible mistake. It comes out to him in the right-back area. He tries to play it in towards McGinn. It's woefully poor. Goes straight to Jota, who you think is going to just drive at Martinez and slot it home himself. He doesn't. He's super unselfish. He sees Salah to his right-hand side. He just rolls it across. And Salah is never, ever going to miss that. He just made sure Mings was on the line. And he just fired it into the roof of the net. What a mistake. And Liverpool lead.
Well, there were two occasions in the opening 5 minutes where the intensity of the Liverpool press caused problems on those occasions for McGinn. Villa survived them. Andres Garcia doesn't survive this. Didn't have any time to dwell in possession. Hit a hurried ball straight at Diogo Jota. Salah does the rest. He's now scored in his last 7 games. And Liverpool lead here by a goal to nil. Here's Rashford miscuing across behind Alisson's goal. That's Salah's 29th goal of the season. It's his 240th for Liverpool in 376 games. He's also scored 5 in his last 6 games here at Villa Park. Big one for him tonight. Half an hour in, is Villa 0, Liverpool 1.
Oh, he'll go down as one of the greats. There's no doubt. Mohamed Salah just hungry to improve still as well. That's what's so impressive about him.
Here's Trent Alexander-Arnold. Played through the Liverpool midfield. Gravenberch looking for Soboslai. It's come straight off him and gone out for a throw, which Luca Digne is going to take. Right in front of us. We're situated about 7-8 yards adrift of the edge of the penalty area that Villa are attacking. Asensio in possession. Plays the ball back through the centre circle. Disasi got caught off the ball there by Jota. Play goes on. Goes out towards Garcia on the Aston Villa right-hand side. Can he atone for that error? Ball play back towards Disasi. Disasi coming inside the centre circle. Fine noise again from the Villa fans to give them credit. Trying to cheer their side back into this game. But it's been noticeable through the opening half hour, Dean, that whilst Rashford's seen plenty of it, Asensio's had some nice touches. They can't get Rodgers or Watkins into the game at all.
No, they can't. They've not been able to even have an attempt on goal at the moment, despite having more possession. Liverpool looking to pounce when they win it back. And it just sucks the life out of the team, doesn't it? When there's a mistake like that. And you've kept Liverpool out so far, and to give them very little to then just gift them the first goal.
They're underway over on Talksport 2. Real Madrid leading Manchester City 3-2 on aggregate. And the conclusion of that game will follow the conclusion of this one here on Talksport as well. Underway also in Paris and Eindhoven, the other two Champions League ties. Luton against Plymouth still 0-0, approaching the 20-minute mark. Dortmund through earlier today. They might end up playing Villa in the round of 16. The draw's on Friday, and you'll hear the first news of it here on Talksport. As Van Dijk side foots the ball to relative safety. It goes out of play for a throw, which will be taken over on the Aston Villa right, level with the edge of the Liverpool penalty area. A chance for Garcia potentially to throw a long one inside the penalty area. Well, there's no hiding place in the Premier League. When you make a mistake like that, you're almost inevitably going to get punished. A steep learning curve for the young Spaniard after a £6 million move. But a player that has started his Villa career well Prior to that, Konate getting the ball clear in front of us, and Alexander-Arnold naughtily, as Digne bent down to pick the ball up to take a throw, Alexander-Arnold flicked it away from him towards the touchline. No yellow card for delaying the restart, which there could have been. Here's Mings from the throw, back towards Disasi. They'll come through the centre circle and lay it out towards Andres Garcia again. Disasi once more. Asensio back for Disasi on halfway, and McAllister is there, and Disasi forced to hurriedly play it out towards Garcia, who maintains possession well on that occasion. Is able to feed McGinn. Now to Tielemans. He'll work it through the midfield towards Asensio, trying to wriggle away under pressure from Soboslai. Tielemans does well, good ball between the lines, but McAllister stopped Rodgers making any ground. And then Tielemans eventually wins it back from Jota. All a little bit scrappy. McAllister slowing, getting back to his feet after the challenge on him. 1-0 to Liverpool here with Mo Salah's goal 4 minutes ago. Asensio to Tielemans. And Tielemans just nudges the ball to his left-hand side for Tyrone Mings. Mings in his bright orange boots. Bringing the ball forward again. Ball going square for Tielemans. Liverpool just dropping off back behind the ball. Over on the right-hand side, it's flicked on by Asensio through the penalty area, and it should go out of play for a goal kick. There's already been a goal in the early stages at the Bernabeu. Real Madrid against Manchester City. Here's Talksport's Alex Crook.
And a nightmare start for Manchester City, because Kylian Mbappe has just fired Real Madrid into a 4th-minute lead. It was a long ball from deep inside their own half. Mbappe in behind the Manchester City defence. He lobbed his shot over Ederson and into the far corner. Real Madrid 1, Manchester City 0, 4-2 now on aggregate.
Mbappe's 26th goal of the season, coming just 4 minutes into that encounter. Here, it's currently Villa 0, Liverpool 1. And for the latest odds, head to Ladbrokes, where right now you can get Villa at 17-2, Liverpool 7-2 on, the draw 17-4. That's all thanks to Ladbrokes, 18+, begambleaware.org. Villa 0, Liverpool 1 here on Talksport. Real Madrid 1, Manchester City now over on Talksport 2. And City need 2 unanswered goals there from here on in to take it to extra time. The mountain's just got that little bit bigger. Alisson siphoning the ball away from the edge of the 6-yard box, finding Konate. Konate towards halfway. The retreating Salah comes back, pokes it. Digne is there. And then Disasi back to his goalkeeper, Martinez. Martinez laying it at his left-hand side for Mings, who will play out to the edge of the D for McGinn. McGinn turning well under the pressure from the retreating Curtis Jones, and he's made some 50 yards here, John McGinn. Now travelling into Liverpool territory to Marcus Rashford. Rashford trying to nutmeg McAllister, and referee Pawson thought that he did more than stand his ground. It's a free kick to Villa, almost level the left-hand edge of the box, slightly out towards the touchline than there, and about 9 yards from the corner of the box.
Razor sharp from Marcus Rashford, that was. Just had his head up. He was actually looking for a pass and just had a little glance down towards McAllister. Saw the right foot just edge ahead and just popped it through his legs and took the foul. Really sharp from him.
He looks like a player unencumbered by trouble and anxiety at the moment, Marcus Rashford, which we haven't always been able to say over the last year, 18 months or so. Left arm above his head as he prepares to take this free kick, although Asensio stands over it as well. Villa looking for an equaliser. Liverpool keeping the defensive line just past the penalty spot, so about 14 yards from goal. Big gap in front of Alisson for the ball to be bent into here. Asensio runs over it, Rashford clips it, right-footed, heads go up, Konate won it, McGinn back into the fray with a looping header, then Mings, and it falls for Tielemans, and it's 1-1. Villa back on level terms through Yuri Tielemans, and the Liverpool lead has lasted less than 10 minutes. McGinn with an intelligent header back in, Liverpool couldn't deal with it. Tielemans shaped up the volley, smacked it into the ground and then the net. And it's Villa 1, Liverpool 1.
And if you wanted anybody to save you, you had to pick one person who would volley a ball towards goal. I tell you what, I'm choosing Yuri Tielemans. They just keep it alive, Aston Villa. Good header from Konate to start with. McGinn back in. Big header from Tyrone Mings to put the pressure on Szoboszlai's header. He can't get it far enough. It falls to Tielemans on his left foot, and he always takes his time with these volleys. He's never rushed. He just makes sure he gets that knee right over the top of the ball, hits it into the ground with power and the direction past Alisson.
Well, he doesn't score that many in the grand scheme of things. That's only 6 in 80-odd games for Aston Villa. But he scored in this fixture last season, and now this. Here's Jota at the other end, and he should have been 2-1. He's almost had the freedom of Villa Park to sprint forward up the left wing. In behind Garcia again. Bent his run perfectly. Disasi stepped forward at the wrong moment. Jota was in, and he shanked it with his right foot. He's missed by miles.
Oh, it's horrid defending from Disasi. You cannot try and play somebody offside if you're that first defender, because are you really sure you know where Tyrone Mings is? And he wasn't. And Diogo Jota just sprinted in behind, down that left-hand side, opened his body up to fire it into that far corner, and just got it horribly wrong, scooped right underneath it and up and over the bar.
Now McAllister, Robertson inside the penalty area. Disasi makes a better job of getting that one clear. Ball beautifully brought down by McAllister. Just watched it onto his right foot. Jota with a little cushion layoff. Szoboszlai on the edge of the D. 1-1 here. Salah on 29. Tielemans on 38 to equalise for the Villa. And Konate kept it in. Really good play on the touchline. Alexander-Arnold, Curtis Jones, given a little shot by Rodgers, goes for goal. Martinez dived inside it. He knew he had it covered. It's drifted just wide. 1-1 here. Let's go back and find out what's been going on at the Bernabeu. Alex Crook.
Well, it goes from bad to worse for Pep Guardiola's Manchester City. They've lost an early goal. Now they've lost John Stones to injury. He just seemed to open up his groin as he went to play a pass. He's replaced by Ake. It's still 1-0 Real Madrid, 4-2 on aggregate.
And that's a massive blow, of course, for Manchester City, but also for England and Thomas Tuchel, whose first 2 games in charge of the Three Lions are coming your way next month. And they will, of course, be here live on Talksport. Another England game has been put in the diary today. The City Ground, Nottingham, the venue for a match on June the 10th, a friendly against Senegal. One ball played forward by Martinez. Watkins thought he was pushed to the ground, but the referee decides he was the aggressor. There was a foul on Gravenberch. And Virgil van Dijk, with the free kick having been taken quickly, finds Konate. Back for Alexander-Arnold, who just tries to drive one forward over the top. Martinez gave himself a bit of thinking time. Came out, judged it well, got there ahead of Jota, balls it out into space in the midfield for McGinn. Fabulous game, Dean Ashton. 1-1.
Oh, terrific. I mean, proper elite level football. Both teams really testing each other as well defensively with that concentration because of the speed and movement of the front four.
Rashford clipping the ball inside the box here. Rodgers has got it. He's being forced back outside the penalty area by Van Dijk, who was quite handsy, but it was all legitimate. Chip back in then by Rodgers. Great reverse ball. Rashford saw it drift over his shoulder, but just a moment's hesitation before he threw a right leg at it meant that he couldn't get there, and the ball rolled through towards Alisson. Anything could happen from here.
First sign really of Morgan Rodgers, isn't it? No surprise to see that it was when he was in a central position, weaving his way past Van Dijk, and then just trying to lift it over the top of the Liverpool defence to Rashford's run, inches away from being perfect.
Well, it has been a much better Liverpool performance tonight than that we saw at the weekend, particularly in the second half. Liverpool pretty decent in the first half against Wolves. They found themselves a 2-goal lead. But the second half, they didn't create a single opportunity. They've had a fair few tonight. Jota trying to create another. Disasi hurt himself in making that challenge. He has. Is that his knee or his left ankle? Jota not happy because play stopped. It's not a head injury, and now Disasi's getting back to his feet. And I think the Liverpool players are making the point that play didn't have to stop there. It's just a genuine collision between the pair of them and not a head injury. In fact, Disasi's not even going to need any treatment.
So I don't really know why Disasi's down And that thing I hate the most, where a player is down holding their leg but their other hand is up in the air as if, the physio's going to have to come on, this injury's terrible, and then actually just gets up and says to the referee, I just didn't like the way he bowled into me after he'd taken the touch.
There's going to be a free kick to Villa. And I mentioned Liverpool didn't have a single chance in the second half against Wolves at Anfield on Sunday. They've had 9 attempts on goal so far today. Villa have only had 2. But it is 1-1. Villa have had the majority of possession as well, 55-45 in their favour. Manchester City live on Talksport 2 right now, a goal down in Madrid. PSG Brest is 0-0, but PSG are going to be going through there. PSV against Juventus, much more in the balance. 2-1 to Juventus in the first leg, 0-0 tonight. PSV defending an unbeaten home record of 56 games, but they've got to win to stand any chance of going through tonight. Jota helping that on, and it's mopped up by Disasi, who's okay after that coming together with Jota. And Martinez will play it out towards Andres Garcia. This first half has raced by, Dino. We've got 90 seconds left in it.
It has, and it's because of the intensity, especially in the middle of the pitch. Both teams are pressing each other, waiting for a mistake, and it's meant that they've found it hard to find any rhythm, either team.
And now Rodgers is a little bit unlucky under duress from Szoboszlai. He's kicked it from one foot into his other leg as he was losing his balance, and it's gone out of play for a throw. Szoboszlai playing the ball back towards Konate, who's ballooned that forward. Certainly wasn't his intention, but he still found McAllister via an injudicious touch from Tielemans. And McAllister inside his own half can turn on the ball. Van Dijk calmly side-foots it back to him. And Liverpool will bring it forward. The lead at the moment, 8 points, with Arsenal, Forest and Co having a game in hand. Villa, if it stays this way, will end the night having played an extra game, 4 points off a top 5 position. It's Bournemouth who are currently in that all-important 5th spot. I say all-important, it might be that you need to finish 4th to get in the Champions League. It's very unlikely. I think 5th's going to be fine this year. Here's Konate going back to his goalkeeper. Alisson will pick it up on the edge of the 6-yard box, forward towards Trent Alexander-Arnold again, and then Alisson has to get the ball out from between his feet to chip it forward. We go into 3 minutes of added time at the end of this first half. And Villa win a throw, level with the edge of the Liverpool penalty area. They'll be able to turn it round and get themselves ahead going into half-time. It's an epic encounter between these two last season, 3-3, with Liverpool blowing a 3-1 lead in the final 5 minutes to a couple of goals from John Duran. That's the current Aston Villa number 9, Marcus Rashford, who's made an impact tonight, albeit that it was Tielemans with the goal. Here is Rashford. A little cushion header down towards the corner flag. Digne chasing after it. Cleared by Alexander-Arnold. Kept in by Salah. Szoboszlai bravely back towards Jones. Jones justifying that faith so well to protect the ball, then find Gravenberch out towards Salah. Salah tried to scoop a ball with the outside of the left foot, but he didn't get the height he wanted to get Jota in behind Disasi. Villa win it back, and they'll be able to bring it forward with Garcia. First of the 3 added minutes already up. Youri Tielemans, the Villa goal scorer, in possession and playing it back towards McGinn. McGinn's got it inside the centre circle. It's Tielemans again. Space on the Villa left for Rodgers, with Rashford taking up the more central role at the moment. The Villa have worked it the other way and go out towards Andres Garcia. Garcia, McGinn, pressurised by McAllister. Just gets his bustling body in the way. Now played forward again by Tielemans. Asensio to Garcia again. This time he's under pressure from Jones. McAllister. Handball shout from the Liverpool fans against McGinn, but looked an optimistic one. Asensio. Lovely little no-look reverse ball. Watkins helps it on. Here's Rodgers coming up the half-time. It's 1-1. Rodgers for Watkins. Digne in space. Time for him to measure the cross here. Left-footed, curved in, and in! It's Watkins, and they've turned it around. Great little flick header from Ollie Watkins off the inside of the post. 10 minutes ago, Liverpool led here. They now trail 2-1 going into half-time. It's an Ollie Watkins header.
And it's absolutely stunning centre-forward play. any kids watch that goal, watch the desire of a centre forward in Ollie Watkins, who initially plays that ball out to Luca Digne. He doesn't just look and think, well, I'm not going to get into the penalty area at this rate, he's just going to put it in. He doesn't. Digne holds the ball enough. Watkins just spins, puts his head down and just sprints towards the penalty spot, and then he just sees it at the last second as the ball gets whipped in from Luca Digne, and he's just there to glance it. It's all instinct. He's just in there, he gets a second to think, and bang, down into the corner. Brilliant centre forward play, that.
Every single game that Liverpool have played in the Premier League this season in which they've scored first, they've gone on to win. All 16 of them. They've got their work cut out here. Having led 1-0, they now trail by 2-1. They've certainly missed some really presentable opportunities. Here's Robertson in towards Szoboszlai, brought down on the edge of the penalty area, trying to turn, got it onto his right foot, didn't fancy it on his left. Had he tried first time with his left, he could have caused Martinez some problems. Villa survived that and bring it away. Liverpool with work to do, trailing 2-1 here. We're in time added on at the end of the 3 extra, and that will do. Liverpool's last away defeat in the league was at Everton back in April. They're 45 minutes away from 1 here. They led 7 minutes before the break, but we get to half-time with Villa 2-1 up.
Indeed, as the players make their way down the tunnel away to our left. Liverpool led, but now they're losing. Man City also losing 1-0 away to Real Madrid. Kylian Mbappe after 4 minutes. That's live on Talksport 2 right now. But Dean Ashton, let's talk about this first half. I mean, you can pay all sorts at the theatre, at the cinema, go and see a gig. You won't get entertainment like that first 45 minutes. That was sensational, wasn't it?
Oh, it's a joy. It really was. It was so interesting how both sides, it was almost slow, quick. But when it was quick, it was just so rapid. You had to be at your absolute best to play through that midfield. You know, every time any player from either side got the ball, the pressure on them meant the touch had to be perfect, the awareness, the movement, the concentration. It just made for such a fantastic half of football. Fair play to Villa. They could easily have gone under slightly after that mistake for Liverpool's opening goal. Liverpool maybe should have got a second through Jota, but they kept pushing, they kept probing, they just kept going, really, Villa. And after that first goal, it gave them a lift.
Well, that first goal that put Liverpool 1-0 up, Jota's pass to Salah, but Andres Garcia on right back, he's had a bit of a torrid time. Even though Villa are leading at the moment, he's had an awful time at right back. He's on the touchline deep in his own half, looks up, sees Jota on the edge of the box, passes it to him. I mean, I once did that in a charity game at the King Power Stadium, immediately demanded to be subbed off because I was so embarrassed. On the spot, vowed never to step on a football pitch ever again. I retired on the spot. It was absolutely unbelievable. And then, after Villa had equalised, he left Jota alone again. That's when Jota sailed through and should have scored.
Yeah, I mean, look, his best moments have been when he's gone forwards, but you've got to defend properly. And that mistake, I'm trying to think of something to help him out. You know, did he even see him? It was like he played the ball thinking like he couldn't see him at all. It was such a strange pass and decision from Garcia, and you think that could really hamper the team's performance for the rest of the half. Yes, he lets Jota go again and should finish, but then actually his teammates have bailed him out because they've been terrific since then, trying to push Liverpool back.
Well, Tielemans with the equaliser and the winner right on half-time. Listen, the last couple of games, all right, Plymouth away was a different Liverpool side. But the Merseyside derby, Liverpool weren't quite on top of their game and they drew it. They beat Wolves at the weekend, but they were truly dreadful second half, and Wolves probably deserved to get something out of the game. The amount of space Digne had to cross that ball in injury time at the end of the first half was a shocker, and Watkins is free to head it home right in front of goal. It's terrible defending.
Yeah, it's not very proactive, that's for sure. I didn't see many players talking to each other to say who's going to follow the man, who's going to check the run of Luca Digne. I love the way Luca Digne took his time, though, because he knew he had that time to make sure he would put in a really good delivery. But honestly, I can't praise Watkins enough for what he did. It was him that laid it off. You know, that desire to just spin and arc your run into the box, and then because it comes, you know, he's got his head down just sprinting into the box. and then he just lifts his head and the ball's almost there, and then that instinctive reaction just to head it into the far corner. It was sensational forward play.
Yeah, it was, and Villa lead 2-1. By the way, very quickly, Dean, there's this myth in football that Diogo Jota is a better finisher than Mo Salah. It's not true, is it?
He normally is terrific, Diogo Jota.
Come on,
but not tonight. No, I think that would be incredibly upsetting to Salah if you said that to his face.
It would just be a blatant untruth. Dear, what a great first half live on Talksport. It's kick-off on Talksport, Enterprise Rent-A-Car, whatever the mission, home or away. Enterprise helps over 120,000 people every day. PSG are going to go through. They lead Brest 1-0 tonight. Bradley Barcola with the goal this evening in the Parc des Princes, but they're already 3-0 up from the first leg anyway. Man City still trail 1-0 on the night, 4-2 on aggregate. That's live on Talksport 2 right now.
Kick off on Talksport with Ladbrokes. Supercharge your odds with our Odds Boost button. Selected markets applies to first £50 of stake. Terms apply. 18+. Gambleaware.org.
Want a day off deciding what to eat? Sit back, relax, and let us do the thinking for you. And the cooking, and the cleaning. From salmon fillet Mondays to fish and chips Fridays. IKEA family members can try a different £3 dish of the day every weekday in store. IKEA, the wonderful everyday. T's and C's and exclusions apply. Find out more at ikea.co.uk.
We all fantasize about our perfect home. Sipping a morning coffee out on the terrace. Good morning, Mr. Squirrel.
Morning.
The kids building a treehouse in the garden.
I'm living my perfect childhood.
But come on, this isn't real. Listen, if you're serious about making your fantasy a reality, find out what your home is worth instantly with a free online valuation estimate. Get real about moving. Get on the market. Most common time to obtain an online quote between 1st of April 2024 and 30th of June 2024 was under 3 minutes. Excludes Northern Ireland.
You don't just check in to a village hotel. You work out. You jump in. You play on. You tuck in and drink up. Village Hotels, 33 locations with everything under one roof. A huge gym with pool and great membership opportunities. And a buzzing pub and grill with delicious food, ice-cold beers and live sport. Check out villagehotels.com and work out, stay, meet and play.
At Screwfix, we've locked the prices on everyday van essentials. Like WD-40 at £6.98, a 100-pack of Easy Fix wall plugs at 94p, and a 200-pack of Gold Screw multi-purpose screws at £2.69. We've got your back with prices you can rely on the products you use the most. In stock and ready to go, saving you the hassle of shopping around. Order on the app and collect in-store today. Prices valid until at least 6th of April. Visit screwfix.com for T's and C's. Delivery charges and restrictions apply.
At Betfair, we're about finding different ways to play. Like with our 90-minute guarantee. We've all been there. The clock ticks over into 90 minutes, and then a speculative cross into the box ricochets off a knee and goes in, ruining your bet. But with Betfair's 90-minute guarantee, if your bet is winning at 90 minutes or full time, we pay out. Betfair. Play different.
Applies to match odds 90 market or markets with the 90 icon. Sportsbook exclusive. Terms and conditions apply. 18+. BeGambleAware.org.
The new £5 meal deal from McDonald's. Get a cheeseburger or mayo chicken, medium fries, 4 McNuggets and a medium soft drink for guess what? That's right, £5. It's not called the £5 meal deal for nothing. From 11 a.m. Not available on delivery. Carbonated soft drink upgrade fees apply. Participating restaurants subject to availability.
Kick off on Talksport with Sky Sports. Stream the biggest Premier League games available with no contract on now. 18+. Stream via internet. Terms apply.
Live football as intense as we can legally broadcast it.
Feel the passion and the pride of the Premier League.
Oh, it's a stunning goal!
This is game night
on Talksport.
Well, Super League is back. We have wins for Lee at Wigan and Warrington at Huddersfield as our live commentaries on Talksport 2 on opening weekends. We've got Castleford against St Helens live Saturday night on Talksport 2 this coming weekend. Villa Park's a bit stunned right now. Liverpool set for only their second Premier League defeat of the season. Let's get the half-time odds with Ladbrokes.
Odds update on Talksport with Ladbrokes. Get money back as a free bet up to £10 if one leg of your Football 5+ acca lets you down. Pre-match straight-line accas only. Odds of 3-1 or greater. 18+. Gambleaware.org.
It's Aston Villa 2, Liverpool 1, Villa 5-4 on to win. Liverpool are 7-2. The draw is 23-10. Marcus Rashford to score anytime is 6-1. Mo Salah to score a brace, he's already got one, is 13-8. That's the latest odds with Ladbrokes. 18 plus. BeGambleAware.org.
Odds update on Talksport with Ladbrokes. Supercharge your odds with our Odds Boost button. Selected markets applies to first £50 of stake. Terms apply. 18 plus. GambleAware.org.
So Kylian Mbappe, after 4 minutes, Real Madrid lead 1-0 against Man City. Let's listen to the commentary on Talksport 2 right now with Stuart Pearce and Ian Danta.
Mendy goes up to halfway as Talksport listeners join us. 27 minutes gone. Real Madrid 1, Manchester City 0. It only took Real under 4 minutes to hit the front when a lovely ball over the top from centre-half Raul Asensio got Kylian Mbappe in behind Stones and Diaz. A superb lob over Edison put Real Madrid in front. Moments after that, John Stones had to limp off with what looked like a knee problem aggravated by passing the ball out wide. He wasn't caught, and Nathan Ake's had to come on, and really Stuart Pearce, the only unemployed player out on that pitch, is Thibaut Courtois, as Mbappe comes through again, drives the ball straight to Edison, who palms it out to the right-hand side, and once again the ball over the top nearly did for Manchester City.
Yeah, it caught Diaz out there, good movement by Mbappe, spun in behind him, and he took it on the bounce and straight at the goalkeeper. But what you don't see, there's two teams here. One is prepared to play the ball over the top when it's on in Real Madrid and got their goal from it. I'm not seeing a runner or a ball in behind the back line from a Manchester City player, and there's something I think is maybe part of their game when things are not going so well that they've got to feed into their game potentially.
A reminder that Erling Haaland is only amongst the substitutes for Manchester City this evening. Omar Mamouche leading the line, and he's barely had a kick. Mendy out to the left-hand side for Vinicius Junior, down the Real Madrid left, sprinting infield to get away from Kusanov. Tries to play it into the run of Rodrigo, who tracked a run from right to left, but City intercept, and it goes back to Edison, who's being closed down, but he still manages to get the ball clear. Now Marmouche scrapping for possession with his youngster Raul Asensio, whose brilliant through ball put Mbappe away, and that goal is what gives Real Madrid a 2-goal advantage. 4-2 they lead on aggregate. Commentary continues on Talksport 2 on the night with half an hour gone. It's Real Madrid 1, Manchester City 0.
Yeah, that's live on Talksport 2 right now. To get Talksport 2, just tell your smart speaker to play it, or download the Talksport app. Won't take long, it's easy to use, it's free as well. You can swipe between Talksport and Talksport 2. We're still waiting for the players to come out here at Villa Park, where Aston Villa lead by 2-1. So let's check in at the Championship game at the bottom of the table at Kenilworth Road. Ian Abrahams.
On the cusp of half-time, Luton 0, Plymouth 0, bottom of the table. Luton had the first chance. Nordas header over from 6 yards out that he should have buried, but Plymouth just above them in the table did have the ball in the net. Ball over the top for Callum Wright to lift it over Kaminski. He was adjudged offside. I'm not sure if there was VAR here, whether that would have been the decision at the end of it. We've just gone into added on time at the end of the first half, of which there'll only be a minute, so another 30 seconds. It's Luton 0, Plymouth 0.
Elsewhere, Champions League, PSG are 1 up against Brest, 4-0 on aggregate. Earlier, Dortmund went through 0-0 on the night. They won 3-0 in the first leg, the Germans, and it's PSV 0, Juventus 0. Juventus 2-1 up from the first leg. And in the National League, 4 games tonight, Braintree lead Wealdstone 1-0 in a battle at the bottom. Eastleigh 2, Dagenham Redbridge 0, Halifax 0, Rochdale 0, and Woking, resurgent under Neil Ardley, leads Solihull Moors by 1-0. Those all in the first half. Alan Brazil and Gabby Agbonlahor will be on Talksport Breakfast from 6 a.m. Interesting to get Gabby's thoughts after this game here tonight. Villa leading 2-1. Among their guests, the boxing promoter Eddie Hearn is on the show, and darts legend Bobby George is also on Breakfast tomorrow. That's from 6 a.m. on Talksport. Alan Brazil and Gabby Agbonlahor with Talksport Breakfast. Game day's back on Saturday, the latest instalment of the Man United horror show this season, as they go to inform Everton, who are actually above Man United in the table given their resurgence under David Moyes. Join Reshman Chowdhury from 11 a.m. on Talksport. Very best build-up ahead of the live game. After that, I'll take you around the grounds and bring you all the goals as they go in. I'll be based at the Emirates for Arsenal against West Ham. Graham Potter, 1-1, drawn 1, lost 3 in the Premier League since he took over. And at the same time, on Talksport 2, there's live exclusive Premier League commentary of Ipswich Town against Spurs, a battle in the bottom half of the Premier League table. Half-time at Luton, it is still goalless as 24th takes on 23rd. Luton 0, Plymouth 0. Let's bring back Dean Aston, who never actually gave me an answer. It's been pointed out by several of our colleagues on my WhatsApp. Never gave me an answer. Better finisher, Jota or Salah? Are you bottling that one, Dean?
No, it's Jota.
Okay, so how do you explain that horror miss?
Well, if look, of course we could take one miss in isolation.
It was a bad one.
But then Salah's got a catalogue of catastrophic misses in his Liverpool career. So we could go with one of those. I just think, again, if I think I've got to trust one player to slip through in on goal, who do I think will finish? I would pick Jota.
Let's get a goal. Somebody's finished at the Bernabeu. Alex Crook.
And it looks like tie over now. Real Madrid 2, Manchester City 0, 5-2 on aggregate. And it's that man, Kylian Mbappe, at the double. It all started with Rodrigo down the Real Madrid right-hand side. He linked up superbly with Vinicius Jr., who actually looked to have overcooked the pass back into the penalty area. It eventually came for Kylian Mbappe. It's wonderful footwork from the France international, and he lashes a right foot shot low and hard beyond Ederson into the bottom corner. If they didn't have a mountain to climb already, they do now, Manchester City. It is Real Madrid 2, City 0.
Some shocking defending from Man City for that second goal, as there was for the first goal. Mbappe has got them both. I think he's a better finisher than anyone else. Teams are out for the second half here at Villa Park, live and exclusive in the Premier League on Talksport. Aston Villa 2, Liverpool 1. Is the impossible going to happen? Are Liverpool going to lose a Premier League game? Second half commentary on Talksport with Dean Aston and Jim Proudfoot.
Thank you, Aid. Well, they're unbeaten in 21 Premier League games, but they got work to do here. Trailing by 2-1. We're back underway. No changes in personnel ahead of this second half, and I'll run through the two teams with you. Jim Proudfoot alongside Dean Aston here at Villa Park, with Villa kicking from left to right in this second half in their famous claret and blue, attacking the hold end. Liverpool in their change kit, white shirts, black shorts and white socks, and they've got the ball with Virgil van Dijk. Bring the ball forward towards the edge of the D, and side-footing it out of the penalty area for Alexis McAllister, then getting it back and going back for Alisson once more. Liverpool the opportunity to bring it forward with Trent Alexander-Arnold. It could have been a very different story the first half if Jota had his shooting boots on. As Robertson tries to work the ball in here, and it's come off Andres Garcia and goes out for a throw that will be taken on the Liverpool left. In terms of XG, and I know a lot of people don't really hold any store by it, but Liverpool almost one clear of Villa in terms of XG, but one behind where it really matters. Konate getting it out towards Alexander-Arnold. Ball from him to Mo Salah over on the right flank, and he's won a throw off Luca Digne.
Yeah, they won't panic, Liverpool. Plenty of experience in the side, and actually, as you talked about there, had the better clear-cut chances in the first half, just didn't take them. And they've got Luis Diaz and the likes waiting in the wings to slightly change the form. I just think with Jones playing on this left-hand side, actually, it's been Robertson who's been probably the most dangerous player on the left-hand side when you normally expect it to be Alexander-Arnold.
Here's Robertson again on the left flank. Curtis Jones has been playing on the left just ahead of him, but tracking into more central areas. Flighting a ball out towards Trent Alexander-Arnold. Can't find a way through, so he hastily beats a retreat back to halfway, then plays it through towards McAllister, who was upended, and the free kick goes Liverpool's way in a promising position. It's probably right at the very limit of range, but it's at a good angle, just right of centre, but maybe a couple of yards too far outside the penalty area to be truly effective. With the free kick given away by Asensio, and it's certainly going to pique the interest of the Liverpool players. The likes of Van Dijk and Konate make their way forward again.
Again, it's Alexander-Arnold piercing through the midfield with a pass, and it's not just the pass. It gives it the player on the right foot away from their body to allow them to turn into the space. It's just the weight of it is always so good.
McAllister certainly shaping to flick this one up towards the edge of the 6-yard box rather than go for goal. McGinn not too sure who was where behind him. The answer was Van Dijk, but all he could do was head it straight over the line and out of play for a goal kick, which will be taken by Emi Martinez. In front of him, Garcia, Disasi, Mings and Digne, McGinn and Tielemans, Rodgers, Asensio and Rashford, and Watkins, the Villa bench, Cash, Marlon, Matson, Bakada, Ramsey, Jamo, and a couple of keepers. Liverpool, Alisson in goal, Alexander-Arnold, Konate, Van Dijk and Robertson. Gravenberch, Soboslai, McAllister, and Salah and Jones wide of Diogo Jota. And the Liverpool bench, Endo, Diaz, Nunez, Chiesa, Elliott, Tsimikas, Kwanzaa, Bradley, and of course Quaveen Kelleher. Alisson clearing down to the touchline and straight past Robertson and out for a throw that will be taken on the Villa right hand side. Throw which will be taken by Garcia back towards halfway. Disasi letting him run across his body, and then he'll go all the way back for Martinez.
And it's now sort of the mentality of the Villa players and what the managers talked about at half time. Do they sit and consolidate? Not with the forward players.
Oh, Alisson is chasing. He's not going to get there. The angle really tight for Rashford. The goal's unguarded. Konate comes back and heads it away past the near post and out for a corner. Alisson taking a chance, but Rashford had too much for him. Got there first. What Alisson was able to do was stop Rashford getting a first-time shot in. By the time he then curved one in on target, Konate was back and able to clear.
Oh, it was a mad decision, though, from the goalkeeper, especially with it being so wide, the ball from Luca Digne down the side of the penalty area. No need for him to come out. Rashford would have had to have controlled and gone inwards. Got lucky.
Very congested 6-yard box, first corner of the second half. Alisson off balance, got his hands behind it, beat it away outside the penalty area. Garcia takes a touch, gets to the byline, great ball in, near post flick, followed by a clearing header from Konate. Salah then tries to bring it away. Digne, the deepest of Villa's outfield players, is able to easily sweep up, and he'll lay it back for his goalkeeper Martinez. Kvaratskhelia has doubled PSG's lead in the Champions League. 2 up on the night, 5-0 up on aggregate against Brest. Remember, PSG, one of Liverpool's potential opponents. They'll play either PSG or Benfica, assuming there's not the most extraordinary fight back in French football history. Free kick given here Liverpool's way. Crowd didn't like it, as you can gather. Konate back out towards Trent Alexander-Arnold. Good distribution once more. Hallmark of his game, being stamped frequently throughout the course of proceedings. 2-1 to Villa. Haven't lost the league game since September the 14th. Just that one defeat which came at home to Nottingham Forest. Still unbeaten away from home in 15 matches, Liverpool in the Premier League, which is a run that stretches back to the last Merseyside derby of last season back in April at Everton. McAllister in possession. If it stays this way, it'll be a 7-point lead at the top of the Premier League, but Arsenal and Forest and the other title contenders will have a game in hand. There's Virgil van Dijk. Played down towards Robertson. Robertson back for Ryan Gravenberch. Gravenberch squared at Trent Alexander-Arnold, who's plumb dead centre of midfield as he picks possession up and neatly finds McAllister. Wriggled past McGinn, but he couldn't beat Tielemans as well. Now Trent is out of position and Villa will try and play past him. Rashford bombing forward down the left-hand side. Watkins turns inside and plays it down towards Rashford. So Konate's forced to shuffle across. Trent is now back at centre-half alongside Van Dijk to cover that. And Unai Emery throws his hands up in the air again at Villa's inability to make more of a counter-attacking opportunity. They do have it back, but they're much deeper. Watkins will come forward. Rashford to his left, and the return ball is not what was required. To miss it and goes out of play in front of the Holt for a goal kick that Alisson will take. It's 2-1 to Villa.
But that's been their strongest area of the pitch. Aston Villa is over on that left-hand side. Marcus Rashford involved a lot in the first half, already in the second. Morgan Rogers on the right and Asensio not in the game as much. There'll be Manchester United fans watching and listening, and I can tell you He's in a structure. He's defending properly. He's aware of his duties. And then he looks super sharp when he does get involved in the attack.
Well, he's rolled back the years, hasn't he, with this move here? So far, at least. The ball played forward by Trent Alexander-Arnold. It's parent club Manchester United in action. Saturday lunchtime, they're away at Everton, and that's our live game for you. Live and exclusive to Talksport, kicking off 12:30 on Saturday. But here and now, it's 2-1 to Villa in a game in which Liverpool led. Virgil van Dijk finding Alexis McAllister. Square to his right for Gravenberch. Good ball down the side of Disasi. The Frenchman read it, and then his compatriot Digne can help it further away. Canate then wins it back. Alexander-Arnold having to scamper under pressure from Rashford. Plays it back to Van Dijk. Van Dijk with the first-time ball over the top. Robertson chasing after that. Better defending by Andres Garcia. Puts it out of play for a throw that McAllister takes as quickly as he can. Into Jota and back again. McAllister then squeezing it under duress through for Ryan Gravenberch. Curtis Jones will take over. Here's the Dutchman Gravenberch, former Ajax and Bayern Munich man, squeezing it to Trent Alexander-Arnold. And towards the right for Mo Salah. Salah, left-footed, clipped inside the penalty area, too deep for Jones, but Rodgers coming in behind, he wasn't sure who was where, didn't take any chances, and he had a shout to let it go, but as it is, he's touched it out for a corner.
Yeah, he wasn't sure, was he? I think he'd twisted himself round into a position where he couldn't see behind him, and just nodded it behind. Martinez, you would have expected to have given him a shout, I'm sure he did.
You're listening to Villa Liverpool on Talksport with Sky Sports. Don't forget, you can stream the biggest Premier League games available with no contract on Now. Search Now Sports. 10 gone second half. 2 on the Villa. In comes McAllister's corner, and the referee has blown his whistle before it was taken and has asked for it to be retaken because there was some pushing and shoving going on. McGinn, one of the players involved in that. Couldn't see who the Liverpool perpetrator was. Canate is being called over, and he had just lent into McGinn. There's a bit of domino toppling going on inside the 6-yard box because he just gave McGinn a little shove and he took the keeper out in the process.
But when does the referee ever have to go and tell players, other than that situation, the rules of the game? It happens in every single match.
Almost happens for every single set piece. Canate trying to dance with McGinn here. Got some good moves. In comes McAllister's delivery, and it's headed away. They'll do it all again. Watkins at the near post. I think the man that got the touch. Tyrone Mings in behind. In between them, they got it clear. And it's out of play for another Liverpool corner. As you say, should just let the corner be taken. And if there's a foul committed, blow your whistle then.
Yeah.
McAllister to take this latest corner. It's Liverpool's fourth. It's another in-swinger towards the near post. It's come off the top of Robertson's head, and that's a goal kick. Heard an interesting stat the other day. Well, I thought it was interesting. I don't want to prejudge you because these things often mean more to me than they do to other people. Liverpool have played 25 league games so far this season. In only 6 of those has the man who has started through the middle scored. Which, when you consider that they've scored more goals than anybody else, 60, so they're averaging nearly 2.5 goals a game over the course of the season. Only 6 out of 25 games has the man playing through the middle for Liverpool scored a goal.
I'm glad I retired, to be honest, with those sort of stats. It's because you have to occupy the centre-backs. That's your role nowadays for the wide plays. Great pass.
Szoboszlai on the end of it, and he just took a little deflection on his shot, which looped up. He took the pace off it, though, and that bailed Martinez out. So he was standing on the edge of the 6-yard box, and it could potentially have cleared him. But he was able to stick his hands up and make the save. Now, they're getting plenty of goals from out wide. Mo Salah, we talked about, 29 for him this season. Cody Gakpo has scored 16. So it's not as if there is a shortage of goals, but I just thought it was interesting that so few of them were coming from the man who was playing through the middle. I'll get your views on that again in a moment as Rodgers tries to bring it forward, but he's lost out to McAllister, and he can now poke it to his right. Trent Alexander-Arnold saw the run of Jota and had the pass beaten Mings, he would have been in. Villa can clear. They lead 2-1. They're looking for more. Rashford, level with the edge of the penalty area, taking on Gravenberch, then checks. He's done well. Inside the box, the cross. But the Dutchman got back to his feet and was able to block it. and the loose ball ricochets out towards the touchline where Villa win a throw.
Well, he did the first part brilliantly, just to check back away from Gravenberch. He just then took too many steps to cross. It needed to be one step and whip it in. He allowed Gravenberch to get back and block. He's an outlet on that left-hand side for Villa,
who have a throw. And the ball in the hands of Luca Digne with his heavily tattooed arms visible. Ball thrown inside the penalty area and then returned back out towards Digne, but a sliding challenge. Couldn't see him emerge with possession. Salah flicks it wide. Has Szoboszlai been able to keep it in? He has, and then tried to work it forward, but couldn't beat Mings. Jota coming to meet it. Jones couldn't get to the loose ball in time. Disasi poking it away for Tielemans. Rodgers in the centre circle now for Villa. And Tielemans, such a calming presence in the heart of the midfield, just plays the ball back for Andres Garcia, and that allows Aston Villa to calmly get it back to their goalkeeper, Emi Martinez. Second half underway at Kenilworth Road. Luton against Plymouth is still 0-0. Half-time whistle's gone to the Bernabeu. Real Madrid, Manchester City. Here's Alex Crook.
Real Madrid 2, Manchester City 0. Kylian Mbappe lobbed Ederson on 4 minutes to open the scoring, and he fired in the second on 33 after leaving Josko Guardiola on his backside. 2-0 Real Madrid, 5-2 on aggregate.
So Manchester City need to win the second half by 3. They've only won 3 of the last 14 away games. Here's Jota! Oh, he's hit the bar. Just skimmed the top of the bar on his way over. His best moment of the game as it came to the edge of the D, and he's rifled one 20 yards out towards goal. Not too far away from scoring his first goal here at Villa Park.
No, he was just so sharp onto it. When it was poked through towards him, he knew he only had probably 3 yards of space on the edge of the penalty area, so the touch had to be perfect. And then his instant thought is, can I swivel and shoot? Good technique on the whipped finish towards the far top corner. And you're right, so close, it just glances off the top of the crossbar.
Martinez plays the ball forward. Van Dijk comes to meet it. Watkins followed him every step of the way to make his life difficult. Villa, if they could got a good touch in the midfield, might have been able to chip one over the top of Van Dijk as Watkins looked to try and spin in behind. They've had to take a slightly more conservative route instead. Garcia working it down towards Rodgers. Rodgers has gone the long way round. McAllister has done brilliantly. Now working it down the right-hand side for Watkins, who chases a lost cause and got there, but then turned into trouble, and McAllister wins it back. An opportunity potentially for Trent Alexander-Arnold to bring it forward. He works it towards Salah. Salah away from Digne. Trent Alexander-Arnold, right-footed VAR deflection and in for 2-2. Liverpool back on level terms. Alexander-Arnold with the equalising goal on the hour. And it's all square again.
Oh, and that's what happens against the absolute best if you give the ball away, because they can punish you so quickly. When it was played through to Alexander-Arnold, he just played it wide for Salah, let him have his space to take on Digne. Got a lucky ricochet off Luca Digne in towards Salah, but Alexander-Arnold didn't stop. He just carried on casually, waiting on the edge of the penalty area for the ball back. And as soon as it was played to him, out of his feet nicely, and instead of curl or caressing it in, he just powers it towards goal. It takes a lucky deflection off Tyrone Mings, though. Not a lot he can do, and Martinez can only parry it into the back of the net.
Yeah, that deflection meant that it just dived past it, Emi Martinez. He stuck his left hand up. Now Disasi missed his kick as he tries to get it back to his goalkeeper. Jota chases after it, but Martinez was still there in time. 2 apiece here in a pulsating night of Premier League action at Villa Park on Talksport. Alexander-Arnold credited with the goal. It's his 3rd of the campaign. Villa try and play Watkins in. Finished 3-3 here between these two sides last season. Couldn't bet against that now. Here's Curtis Jones. To his right for Szoboszlai. Now towards Salah. Salah taking on Digne. And running with pace and intent towards the edge of the penalty area. Ball pulled back. Curtis Jones has got it. Jones will check. Given a little nudge by Tielemans. Jones back out towards Salah. Salah onto his left foot. Szoboszlai back for Salah again. Szoboszlai again. And Disasi has half cleared it. And then Robertson with a left-footed effort that hits Rodgers and goes away from the scrambling Martinez for a corner.
I mean, I don't know how they got so far. Mo Salah and Szoboszlai just combining once, twice, 3 times. Eventually fell to Robertson, who tried to strike and was blocked. It was so tight in the penalty area for Salah and Szoboszlai.
So another Liverpool corner, and there's action on the Reds bench, and Nunez and Bradley are getting ready. We've played 63 minutes. Villa 2, Liverpool 2 in a belter. In comes the corner. Oh, goalkeeper Martinez made a mess of that. He parried it into the ground under pressure from Van Dijk, and then was able to get his hands behind it. Van Dijk walks away with a big grin on his face as he thinks the goalkeeper got lucky there.
Oh, it's so fortunate. He tries to punch it over the top of Van Dijk's head. He punches it straight at the back of Jota.
And now Asensio caught in possession. And then Jota gets to the loose ball ahead of McGinn, who didn't realise that Jota was coming in from behind him. Gravenberch out of the Liverpool right-hand side. They're turning the screw now as they try and get themselves ahead again. Salah, Gravenberch clipped in, doesn't get to Jones. It's headed away by Disasi. Back out for Robertson. Robertson behind him has McAllister. Behind him is Konate. Good ball from the Frenchman. Out towards the right-hand side of the box. Trent Alexander sweeps it in. He might be coming off shortly, with Conor Bradley getting ready to come on. And Villa will be able to break. But McAllister has the presence of mind, with neither fullback anywhere to be seen, to be able to cut out a ball that was intended for Rashford. And then Liverpool will slow things down at the back and will build from a much deeper position. Villa 2, Liverpool 2 are expecting Bradley to replace Trent Alexander-Arnold, Nunez to come on for Jota, with both of those changes being made with just a shade over 25 minutes to go. And one of the Villa subs, Daniel Marlon, is being called back as well. So I think there's going to be a Villa change very shortly. In fact, it might be a double Villa change in a moment. I think Ian Matson possibly is going to be called back. Villa on the back foot. Salah trying to work it in. Jones cleared it, hit Disasi, and then he's knocked away. Konate getting the better of Watkins, the score of the second Aston Villa goal. Robertson brilliantly has just pushed Rodgers under the flight of the ball, and then his crossing was a peach, and a flying header from Jota goes narrowly wide.
I mean, a teasing cross from Robertson. He doesn't take any time. He allows the forwards to make their movements, put it in early, right over the top of Disasi's head. Tyrone Mings does so well, though. He makes it so difficult with his presence over the top of Diogo Jota. He couldn't get a clean header and headed it wide.
So the double change will be made. Nunez coming on for Jota and Bradley for Alexander-Arnold. And this is something that we've seen in recent games where the starting Liverpool right back, be it Bradley, be it Trent Alexander-Arnold, has played 60 to 65 minutes, and then changes have been made. Just managing the minutes. Villa going to be making a triple change by the look of it. Maatsen has sat back down, but Ramsey is stripped and ready for action. So too Marlon and Cash. So a triple change about to be made. I think Cash is going to come on for Garcia. You would imagine a straight swap at right back. That, in fact, confirmed. So that's the first of the changes. Cash for Garcia. Marlon will replace Asensio. And it's Ramsey for Rashford. What have you made of the performances of the two Villa full debutants tonight, Rashford and Asensio?
Well, I think Rashford has been the pick of the two, that's for sure. Looked a real threat on that left-hand side, like I said. Did his defensive duties, getting back into position. Up against Alexander-Arnold at times. Asensio, a couple of bright moments in the first half, but has actually gone missing, and rightly so, needed to be taken off. Looked like he's lacking that real match fitness, especially at Premier League pace.
Well, it was his first league start since November the 22nd. Man that played a Champions League final against Liverpool back in the day, but unable to make any real significant impact tonight, so he's off. Daniel Marlon has come on to replace him. Disasi misjudged a long ball punted forward from the Liverpool back line. He had time to remedy the situation. Read the second bounce and nods it back for Martinez. Midway through the second half. Villa 2, Liverpool 2 here on Talksport. And the second half of the Champions League game between Real Madrid and Manchester City will be underway very shortly. That is live over on Talksport 2. Manchester City need 3 unanswered goals in that second half to even take it to extra time. Here's Cash, bringing the ball forward from the right back position. Squeezing it down the line for Marlon. Robertson got there, just stuck out a left foot. Villa win it back with McGinn. Now Marlon, who played in the Champions League final last season for Dortmund. McAllister has won it back. McAllister down the line. A strong challenge coming in from Cash. But a fair one. It wasn't dirty Cash. It was okay. It's a throw which will be taken on the left-hand side. 2-2 the scoreline with 68 gone. Deadlock broken at Kenilworth Road. Here's Ian Abrahams.
10 minutes into the second half. Luton 1, Plymouth Argyle 0. Ball forward headed down by Noras into the path of Jacob Brown just under the sub to put Luton in front. Luton 1, Plymouth 0.
And what a miss here at Villa Park. Szoboszlai bringing the ball forward, rolled it square for Darwin Núñez. All he had to do was hit the target. Martinez nowhere to be seen, and he's put it high and wide from 7 yards out.
Oh dear, that is unbelievable, even for his standards. Oh, you just side foot it in, just honestly, just side foot it in. It's just there, just side foot it in from 5 yards. Just side foot it in. It's unbelievable. Ball across, get yourself a goal, get your confidence high. I don't know why he's trying to hit it high into the roof of the net, because Disasi's near it. Just side foot it in the net.
Well, he's only scored in one of his last 13 games, and he really should have scored there to put Liverpool 3-2 up. How significant a moment and how significant a miss could that be at the end of the night? Here's Watkins looking for the shaven-headed Marlon. Liverpool can bring it away with Jones and then McAllister. Should have scored with his first touch of the night, but he hasn't, and it remains 2-2 here on Talksport.
He just tried to make it so much more difficult than it needed to be, because it was just a simple finish that needed side footing in. Instead, he's gone to power it in and high. It's just such a strange decision, and one of a player with very, very little confidence.
Cash bringing the ball forward for Villa. The game still in the balance. John McGinn on the edge of the centre circle. Goes back for Axel Disasi. Now to Cash again. Cash bringing the ball forward, plays it to his right for Morgan Rogers. Rogers slows things down into McGinn, back for Rogers. Now Rogers will go through the gears, and he's played in Watkins. He leaves it. Marlon, the angle's tight, and the goalkeeping is good. It was offside anyway, actually, as Watkins played it into his path. Aston, not to know that, came out and made a good near post save, but that was Villa at their best.
Yeah, the timing of Alisson's movement was perfect. He waited till he just saw that touch that was slightly away from Marlon, and then he was right off his line as quick as he could to narrow the angle, hit him full in the chest. But it's that timing of Alisson, just waiting for that touch to be slightly further away from the forward player. That's when you pounce off your line.
Well, I think had that gone in, the VAR might actually have overruled the flag on this near touchline.
I'm not sure Watkins touched it, did it? It just went straight through to Marlon.
So I think the goal would have stood. A big save from Alisson, but because the flag came up, it's not a corner. There's a Liverpool free kick that restarted play. Into the final 18 minutes here. 2-2. Ball work back out towards the Liverpool right-hand side. Szoboszlai. He's got Núñez in the middle. Szoboszlai's got Robertson at the far post. That was the pass he tried to play, but it was blocked. Penalty area became very congested very quickly. And Szoboszlai, having passed up the first opportunity to find a teammate, has to recycle the ball and go back deep for Virgil van Dijk. Here's Alexis McAllister now on the edge of the centre circle. From him to Konate. Conor Bradley back for Konate again. Just didn't look himself the other day. He could have had 3 red cards in that first half against Wolves, but it's been a much more assured performance from Mibu Konate tonight. Andy Robertson on halfway for Liverpool. Gravenberch with a little layoff. McAllister clipping one over the top. No flag up against Darwin Núñez. Oh, there is now, and I think correctly. And it's a free kick that will be taken by Villa. Let me remind you that there's a full midweek Premier League card next week. And this time next week, Liverpool will be in action at home to Newcastle. That is on Talk Radio. 8:15 kickoff. And it's on Talk Radio. Villa in action Tuesday night, 7:30 kickoff. Away to Palace. And that is exclusive here on Talksport 2. So all 10 games in match week 27 being played Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday next week. They're all on the Talksport network, either on Talksport, on Talksport 2, the Talksport app, or indeed on Talk Radio. We've got them all. Here's Cash on the right-hand side of the penalty area. Ball played in towards Morgan Rogers. Rogers to his left-hand side. Watkins. It's Ramsey back across the edge of the 6-yard box and a miscue in front of goal. Marlon back in, and that one is cleared for a corner. Well, in fact, it's a goal kick. Was it Konate again in the right place at the right time to effect the block? Watkins playing it in. Found Jacob Ramsey. Across the edge of the 6-yard box. Cash was waiting, and it's just taken a touch off Konate on its way through and flicked it away from Matt Cash. And he goes out of play for what has been given as a goal kick.
Yeah, he just dangled a leg and it didn't eat Konate. It span off his boot dangerously across the box. Luckily, nothing came of it.
Oh, and a mistake by Mings. Martinez can't just get there in time. Goes down as almost miraculous goalkeeping. I still think the decision was wrong, but if Nunez had been a little bit sharper, he'd have been able to nudge him past him. But Martinez will say he's completely vindicated by getting his thigh to it after Nunez's touch. Way outside the penalty area, and Villa survive. He looked really risky in chasing out there. He was done no favours.
No, I mean, that was all 5 piles of chips, all in from Martinez. If he doesn't get there, it's probably a goal and a red card.
Marlon Rogers, right across the edge of the 6-yard box and no one there to touch it in. Bradley will be able to clear. And it goes out of play eventually off Digne for a Liverpool throw. This is not going to end 2-2. 15 minutes to go. For the latest odds, you can head to Ladbrokes right now. You can get Villa at 17-4. Liverpool, the more likely winners at 6-4. The draw, the favourite, is evens. It's all thanks to Ladbrokes 18+. BeGambleAware.org. Mings trying to get a touch, gets it back for Martinez and away from Darwin Nunez, who is playing bereft of confidence, I think it's fair to say. Not really chasing things with conviction. And I think that miss will still be playing on his mind when he really should have scored with his first touch. Madsen's been called back to the bench after another warm-up, and I think he is going to be coming on now. We've got 15 minutes to go. Dean Ashton's 2 apiece.
It's just become wonderfully chaotic, the game, especially with the changes that have been made. It has given Villa a lift. At the same time, Nunez should have scored almost then, getting through as well. He's definitely added something to the forward line without any end product yet.
You're listening to Aston Villa against Liverpool on Talksport with Enterprise Rent-A-Car. Whatever the mission, home or away, Enterprise helps over 120,000 people every day. Jim Prattle and Dean Ashton talking through the action from Villa Park. Is 2-2. Soboslai making his way forward. Good challenge on him from Jacob Ramsey. The ball then played back to Ramsey, who's back on his feet and getting Villa forward. Ramsey from just up the road from here in Great Bar, lifelong Villa fan. And he's done well since coming off the bench. Back from him to Cash. Madsen still waiting to come on. I think it's going to be Digne he'll replace. You should certainly imagine that it will be a straight swap at left back. Sometimes Madsen has played a little bit further up on the left-hand side as a bit more defensive cover. Well, that seems unlikely here. Here's McGinn. Back towards Cash. 4 from Cash for Morgan Rogers. Rogers getting the ball and then gliding effortlessly forward as still he goes towards the edge of the area. Nudges it wide towards Marlon, whose cross-come shot takes a deflection from the retreating McAllister and goes behind for a Villa corner. They'll bring Madsen on for Digne before the corner is taken.
But that's what he brings, Morgan Rogers. And he has shown all season that driving, dribbling ability from the number 10 role. Once he gets past you, it's hard to stop. He was unlucky, slightly overhit the pass to Marlon.
So Madsen coming on. And Villa will take the corner. McGinn's going to take it. He's actually, whilst the change was being made, he's come over and had a word with the Villa set-piece coach, Austin McPhee, who, as always, for all these attacking Villa set-pieces, stands on the edge of the technical area and is almost as if he's trying to push an imaginary bus up a hill, with the gestures that he's making with his right hand here. A very familiar figure with the long hair, who's part of the Portuguese national team setup as well now. In comes the corner from McGinn. It's a left-footed in-swinging that's cleared out as far as Tielemans. McGinn knew that he was offside and made no attempt to be able to get on the end of that. And the ball has gone out for a throw, which will be taken by Liverpool in their left-back position. There's just over 10 minutes for either of these sides to win it. 2-2 the score.
It's fascinating, isn't it? These set-piece coaches and their role and their importance now stepping out into the technical area every set play, gesturing as if literally the players have got absolutely no idea what they're meant to do from these set plays. We know you're a big part of it and you're being paid. You don't have to always come out and be as dramatic as they've been.
I always love you for your cynicism beyond your years. Here on the left-hand side of the penalty area is Maatsen. Maatsen clipping it inside the box. It's almost brought down by Watkins. It is by Marlon. Marlon, right-footed. It's Curtis Jones and rolls over the line in front of the hoardings, in front of the halt, by an Argentinian flag that is being brandished as John McGinn goes across to take it. And again, Austin McPhee is there in the technical area. Corner taken short this time. Cash, Tielemans, and the stooping Van Dijk can head it away, and he then just moves his left hand through his hair. Maatsen curving it back in, well claimed by Alisson. And Alisson brings it to the edge of his penalty area and volleys it forward. What a pass that is! Straight through for Mo Salah, who has it on the edge of the penalty area at the other end. From him to Nunez, onto his right foot. Still he's got it. And then try to roll Szoboszlai in. But Szoboszlai peeled away. He wanted it to be knocked square. He didn't make the run. And Nunez's pass drifts innocuously over the line. And out of play for a goal kick that Martinez will take. But what a pass from Alisson.
Stunning, wasn't it? Out of his hands, side volleying as he falls over, fully 70-80 yards from Alisson. Brilliantly taken by Salah in towards Nunez. And actually, I feel a bit sorry for him. Szoboszlai didn't do anything. He didn't really make that genuine run to want it to feet, and then didn't make the run in behind for Nunez. Well, do it yourself then. Shift it and shoot as a forward. Take it on yourself. Be greedy.
Digne. Now Cash on the right-hand touchline. And it goes out of play for a throw that will be taken on the Villa right. They made another change. Have Liverpool. They've taken McAllister off and brought Luis Diaz onto the left flank. So Jones has gone back into a more orthodox central midfield position. Well, good ball played forward here. It's Rodgers for Ramsey. And it's in for 3-2. But the flag comes up. And it will be checked. Konstantin Hadzidakis did as he's told to do. The assistant referee waited. And as soon as the ball went over the line, the flag came up. We'll look at a replay now to see whether it is the correct decision. And it is. He's half a yard off.
Guys, look, it's really close. The way that Morgan Rodgers just dug out the pass, though, was excellent from underneath his feet. Saw the run of Ramsey. Again, in those moments, I think we need to give more credit to the defensive line. They work incredibly hard at it, day in, day out, these defenders, to make sure when that ball is free to be played that you are right in line, and they were perfectly in line, Konate and Van Dijk.
The check is complete, and it's a free kick to Liverpool. It's not a kick-off for Liverpool. 2-2 it remains with 8 minutes to go. Salah, right-hand side of the penalty area. Under pressure from Ramsey. Has he won a corner? Yes, he has, because it was cleared by Maatsen only after the ball had gone over the line. Salah scoring again tonight. He's now scored 15 away goals in the Premier League this season. That's more than any other Liverpool player for 94 years. He's only one short of the club's all-time record, which was set by Jimmy Smith back as the 1920s rolled into the 1930s. Corner for Liverpool, 2-2. In comes this latest delivery, plenty of whip on that. Disasi with a good header. Force for Soboslai, though, is inside the penalty area. Takes a touch, wins another corner, does he? Rodgers is claiming there was a double ricochet. And such is the vehemence of the claim, he's almost certainly right. Looking at the replay, he is right. It should have been a goal kick. Corner given. Very tough one for the officials to get right. But Villa won't be happy if something happens from this. Soboslai taking the corner. Over Mings' head. It's cleared back out for Salah, whose shot comes back off the post. But only after the whistle had gone. Push on Ramsey inside the penalty, on Watkins inside the penalty area. And it's going to be a free kick.
Yeah, it's a big header this from Watkins. Konate steaming in to head that in at the near post, and Watkins did his job, stood on the near post, just saw to his left, headed it away.
Another goal in the Championship at Kenilworth Road, Ian Abrahams.
20 minutes to go, it's an equaliser. Luton 1, Plymouth 1. Maxi Televerov has headed in from 7 yards out, unmarked. It's a criminal goal for Luton to give away. Luton 1, Plymouth 1.
1-1 at the scoreline there, and if it stays that way, well, then Luton will stay bottom and Plymouth will stay second bottom. Tielemans plays it back for Martinez, down towards Disasi. Cash under a little bit of pressure, forced to go back inside his own penalty area. And Martinez, Mings, they've done really well to play their way out through the press. Tielemans now for Rodgers. Rodgers is on halfway. And he can make his way forward down the right-hand touchline and then turn back inside. Always looks as though he's going to lend the ball to the opposition, flicks it away from them in the nick of time. Good ball down the left-hand side of the penalty area for Ramsey. Rodgers involved again, now back for Tielemans. Once more it's Morgan Rodgers. The former Manchester City and Middlesbrough man can't make an effective pass this time, and Bradley will clear. Villa will be bringing Lamara Bakada on very shortly. Incidentally, after that non-award of a goal kick when a corner was given, Austin McPhee picked up a yellow card. You'll be delighted to hear, Dean. Here's Konate making his way forward for Liverpool, and a free kick has gone their way, and Villa will be able to make the change. McGinn off, Bakada coming on. Fresh legs in the midfield for the final five.
Yeah, which seems a slight surprise. That's a bit of protection for John McGinn. I'm not quite sure, but he's such an important player. He's put in a hell of a shift once again in that midfield area.
So McGinn off, and Bakada comes on. More live Premier League action coming your way Friday night. Leicester against Brentford kicks off at 8. Saturday, Everton against Manchester United at 12:30. Both of those games on Talksport. And Ipswich Spurs are Talksport 2 exclusive game. 3 o'clock Saturday afternoon on Talksport 2. This one coming towards a thrilling conclusion. 4 minutes to go. Remember, there were 2 goals in the last 5 minutes when the two sides met here last season. On that occasion, Liverpool blew a 3-1 lead. John Duran coming off the bench to score twice. Will there be a change in the destiny of the points laid on again here? Bradley getting the ball inside the penalty area. That's deflected away, and Liverpool have another corner with 4 left.
And they just want to build that momentum now till the end of the game. Liverpool push Aston Villa back. Good ball down the side for Conor Bradley. Good defensive work. Fatigue now in the body and the mind is at play.
Well, a goal for Liverpool here now would feel monumental. In comes this latest delivery from Robertson, really well claimed by Martinez. PSG 3, Brest 0, 6-0 up on aggregate. They are going to be making it through to the round of 16 in the Champions League, where they will play either Liverpool or Barcelona. Draws made on Friday. First news here on Talksport. Maatsen motoring forward for Villa. Now Watkins on the left-hand side of the Liverpool penalty area with a cross that was slightly too brisk and far too high. And it goes over everybody and out of play for a Liverpool throw in their left-back position as we go into the 88th minute at 2-2.
I think what's great as well is that it's not as if Villa are going to sit back. They're going to want the victory as well. So they're going to try and have their moments. It's just whether either team can create that opportunity and take it.
Well, they haven't got a great record late in games. Aston Villa, they have conceded 12 goals in the last 15 minutes of matches in the Premier League. It's the second worst in the division. They've got a problem here. Liverpool, I think it's Bradley, is it, that's down hurt on the edge of his own penalty area. He's only been on for 20 minutes, having replaced Trent Alexander-Arnold. And is this a serious problem that means that his race is run and that Liverpool are going to have to make a change? They still could make a change. They've got Jarrell Quansah on the bench, and he would be the man that would be coming on. In fact, he's stripped and ready for action. So Quansah for Bradley looks imminent. Meanwhile, another goal at the Bernabeu for Alex Crook.
And this is turning into another chastening night for Manchester City. Kylian Mbappe has completed his hat-trick on the hour. He picked up the ball right corner of the penalty area and he drives it left-footed into the bottom corner. Real Madrid 3, Manchester City 0, 6-2 on aggregate.
So Real Madrid going through, PSG going through, Dortmund already through, and PSV lead Juventus by a goal to nil in the game in Eindhoven tonight. That's 2-2 on aggregate. PSV haven't lost a home game since November 2022. Looking to extend that run tonight, and if they can beat Juventus, the league's going to be taking that to extra time. And that, of course, is of consequence for Arsenal fans, because Arsenal will play either Feyenoord or the winners of that tie. So Quansah on. He'll play it right back. Salah knocking the ball down here as play resumes. Nunez in an offside position, so the ball's worked out towards Salah instead. Salah left-footed, very deep. Too deep for Szoboszlai, who probably nudged Cash over anyway. And it goes out of play for a goal kick. 30 seconds away from stoppage time. There'll be a fair bit to be added. 5 minutes we're hearing.
It's been a terrific game. I mean, you would say neither team really deserves a victory. Who could snatch it, though? The intensity of the play, it hasn't dipped at all throughout the whole game.
So as things stand right now, Liverpool 8 points clear, having played an extra game. Villa 4 points off a top 5 position. Confirmation of the 5 additional minutes. We're in them now. Luis Diaz for Liverpool, facing the wrong way, under pressure by both Marlon and Rodgers, has somehow managed to squeeze the ball through towards Jones. Jones then being manhandled by Marlon, won the battle of the two number 17s, gets it back to Robertson and then to his goalkeeper Alisson, who off balance can clear the halfway. Salah can pick it up, but picks it up from an offside position. He's only a couple of yards inside Villa's half, but such is the high Villa line, he was offside. And Aston Villa will take a free kick. Yuri Tielemans stands over it. And it would feel like a crushing blow were Liverpool to lose. It would feel like a massive win if they were to get over the line from here. Remember, they haven't dropped a single point all season in the Premier League when they've scored first. That might be about to happen. 2-2 here. 4 from Disasi to Cash. Cash gets it through the midfield for Daniel Marlon. Marlon's got Watkins making a run through the middle. To his right-hand side, he's got Morgan Rodgers. Cash making a run on the overlap for him. Cash gets to the byline. Gravenberch knocks it away. Good ball delivered to the edge of the 6-yard box. And Ryan Gravenberch slid in and cleared. Comes off Diaz, though, and goes out. Well played, Picada. Throw. Taken on the Aston Villa right. In towards Rodgers. Rodgers wins a corner off Darwin Nunez. And with 3.5 minutes of stoppage time to go, here's a chance for Villa to win it.
Yeah, Unai Emery just trying to lift the crowd. Little turn and wave of the fist. Be a big moment for Villa if they could score here.
Yuri Tielemans, who's scored 1 tonight, goes across and very deliberately places the ball down on the corner quadrant. 2-2 in stoppage time. The Villa corner. Tielemans takes it, right-footed. It's very deep towards the far post. Good first contact from Gravenberch, heads it away. Back into the fray. Watkins with a header back across the edge of the 6-yard box. Mings will be able to pick it up slightly deeper. Comes back outside the penalty area. Under pressure from Kwanzaa. Will he be able to deliver a cross? Does the next best thing. He's pulled it back. Good reverse ball inside the area, and a right-footed shot flies over the bar. Good chance for Morgan Rogers. That might potentially be Villa's last chance to win it.
Yeah, it's a chance for Rogers to just keep it low. He does beautifully in the way that he just lets the ball run past him towards Ramsey, who can then play it into Rogers, who's free. It comes across his body from the right-hand side, and then he's just got to strike it without looking at the goal. It bobbles a fraction, you would say, but still, you've got to work hard to keep that under the crossbar.
We're in the 94th minute, and the two sides are locked together at 2-2. Nice touch from Rogers there. Back for Bakada. Tielemans trying to squeeze it through. Past Kanate, who off balance can clear, but only as far as Cash. Oh, he's come close. Saved by the diving Allison at the near post. When he went past the play, maybe just took a nick off Robertson. But Allison got down, unsighted as the ball touched the Scots left back. But he was able to save just at the foot of his left-hand post.
Yeah, and he handled it well. Allison didn't spill at all with Watkins waiting.
Long ball over the top again. Here's Salah, right-hand side of the penalty area. 90 seconds left. He's won a corner. No. That time the double ricochet was seen as it hit Maatsen and then came back off the Egyptian. And Emi Martinez will take the goal kick. By the time he's taken it, will be in the final of the 5 added minutes. This one at the moment looks destined to end 2-2. It will extend Liverpool's unbeaten run to 22 in the Premier League, but it will mean that they've only won 2 of the last 8 away games in all competitions. It will also mean that Villa extend their unbeaten run here to 13, both in all competitions and 13 in the Premier League. Martinez clears, 40 seconds to go. Little flick on comes from Watkins, the scorer of the Villa's second goal. It's cleared by Kanate. Bakada guides it back. Disasi pumps another one forward. Kanate on the end of that one as well. Headed on by Watkins. Van Dijk dealing with Marlon. Ball forward towards halfway. Mings going in, and the caught Nunez around the side of the face with a flailing arm. Helps him back to his feet. Play goes on. Here's Marlon. Challenge on him, Marlon. Oh, just wide. And I mean just wide. 10 seconds from the end of stoppage time. Daniel Marlon was maybe 3-4 inches away from winning it for Villa and scoring his first goal for the club at the most opportune of moments.
Oh, he strikes it so well. Keeps it low. Keeps it across Allison towards that far post. And you're right, everybody of a Villa persuasion thought that was in. Almost grazed the post as it went past. He did brilliantly to shrug off Jones.
And that is that. Sharp exhalation of breath from Arne Slot. A handshake between him and Unai Emery. Not the worst point as far as Liverpool are concerned, but they will be frustrated. The first time they've dropped points in the league all season in a match in which they've gone 1-0 up in the Premier League. Mo Salah put them ahead. Tielemans and Watkins made it 2-1 Villa by half-time. Liverpool with Alexander-Arnold equalised in the second half. Excellent display from Marcus Rashford on his full Villa debut. A cracking night. The bottom line is Liverpool extend their lead by a smidge up to 8, but they've now played an extra game. And have they just opened the door, the merest hint for Arsenal and co. Great game, finishes Villa 2, Liverpool 2.
Well, that's why we bring you live exclusive Premier League football on Talksport. For games like that, pure entertainment, absolute class. It was a thriller from start to finish. So much happened in this game. And I think Dean Ashton, just about the fair result at the end, 2-2. I think Villa certainly didn't deserve to lose. And we'll talk more about Liverpool in a moment and what they did or what they didn't do, really. But they'll feel they didn't deserve to lose. 2-2, great game, fair result in the end, right?
Just about. I think Liverpool will look back and think it was a night of big missed chances, really, for them. But Villa, I thought, stuck at it, kept going, were always a threat, and could have nicked it themselves at the end. A terrific advert for Premier League football. Exactly what we've come to expect, almost. The intensity, and the quality at times because of how fast it was great to see, and neither team giving anything, neither team going, actually, towards the end of the game, we'll take a point, we'll sit in, we'll defend. They both didn't. They both were trying to push right till the end.
It was thrilling. I mean, players are coming off. They must be absolutely shattered. They've run around. Their concentration levels with the ball pinging about so much, and the quality of some of the football as well was absolutely superb. Trent Alexander-Arnold's deflected effort made it 2-2. And then Darwin Núñez. I mean, we talked about who's the better finisher, Jota or Salah. Núñez doesn't really come into that conversation, does he?
No, he doesn't. The issue is, I actually get angry when I watch a miss like that. I can't help it because it's such a simple finish, and you're an elite level professional footballer. Do your job and just put that in the net, and your team could easily go on and win the game. That's how important those moments are. And he's been so casual, or he thinks he has to thrash it in because he's so tense. You know, whatever his mindset was, it's not the right mindset.
Was he expecting the ball though? I don't know. I half expected Szoboszlai to shoot. He didn't. He squared it, and maybe Núñez the same. I don't know.
No, but he has time. It's not like it's played from a couple of yards to him. It's come across to him. He's seen it all the way. The fact is, Disasi's sliding in, but Disasi will not block the ball, even if he just side foots it towards the goal. But he panics. He's probably too tense, I would say. Too tense, and feels like he has to smash it in when he doesn't. And you do that when you're tense and you haven't got the confidence just to relax and side foot it in. But I just get angry because it's such an easy thing really to do. If I asked him tomorrow and did 1,000 of those in training, he'd score every single time. So why snatch at it? Just do your job and put it in the net.
It felt like, and you're in the middle of commentary and you're angry about it, but it felt like everybody's jaw hit the floor, Dean. It felt like we all thought, oh, this is it, Liverpool go in front. And when it didn't happen, when the ball didn't ripple in the back of the net and make it bulge, none of us, not one person in this ground, of all the thousands here tonight, none of us, Dean, could believe it.
No, we couldn't. And look, we don't want to ridicule him, but you can only comment on what you've seen. And you've got to score that at this level. You can't miss a chance as easy as that. And what that would have done for him, his teammates at that moment, could be so huge for his confidence and the team's points tally. And I'm sure no one will say anything to him because that's kind of what it's like in a dressing room when someone misses a chance like that. But it's really crucial.
Well, I was going to ask you, but I'm not sure you knew what it was like to miss a chance like that. But I do wonder, I mean, they will be thinking things, even if they don't say them. His teammates will be thinking, we should have won that game with that chance.
Yes, yeah, of course they will. Yeah, behind the scenes, they'll be having a go at him between each other because they know when you put in a decent performance away at Aston Villa and the chance is there for one of your teammates to. I mean, it's been the same throughout time that defenders will think you've cost us the game and forwards think the defenders have cost us the game.
The Villa, they played well, and they had chances at the end as well, which we'll come to, but there was no late siege of the Villa goal from Liverpool. I mean, halfway through the second half, I'm thinking Disasi and Mings are there for the taking. Martinez at times has made some rash decisions. He's got a little bit lucky on occasion, but I'm thinking those centre-halves are wobbling furiously. But there was no late siege from Liverpool. I was surprised. Does that mean we could question their hunger, their desire for this Premier League title? Because I was expecting them to go all out, rain in shots on goal, give Mings and Disasi a torrid time. It just didn't happen in the end, did it?
No, it didn't. I mean, obviously, Núñez came on and made a difference in that he got involved in the game. But it did surprise me at that time, so early on, that he would make the change. And especially Alexander-Arnold, who had just scored, who was constantly a threat and is your most, I think, creative player on the ball. It surprised me that he took him off at that moment. But ultimately, a point is actually a good result here. You take a point away from a tough place to come. It's another point away from Arsenal. You're saying to Arsenal, with this result, you're saying you've still got to come and meet us. You've still got to chase us down. You're the ones that have got to go and get the points to close the gap, not us.
I think the situation with Trent is it's literally just probably the advice of the medical staff, his minutes being managed and the workload. Don't forget, they've got Manchester City away this weekend, so it's a crucial game, and then they got Newcastle at home, live on Talk on Wednesday night. So 2 big games coming up against top 6-7 opposition. That's happened over the last 3 or 4 games that Trent and Conor Bradley have had their minutes managed. Whoever started has gone off at around that stage. So that smacked to me of being a premeditated change, possibly at the advice of the medical staff, rather than being a tactical one for the game. Of course, the subsequent injury for Bradley, with Quansah having to come on, might change that plan for the match against Manchester City.
Talking of Man City, they're still 3-0 down. I think they're going out of the Champions League before the last 16, which is a first for Pep as a manager. We talked about no late surge from Liverpool, but there was from Villa. Morgan Rogers with a late chance over the bar. Daniel Marlon millimetres wide right at the end. This could have been worse for Liverpool, couldn't it?
Yeah, it could. And that's what Villa will always give you is a test with their forward players. I thought Morgan Rogers all of a sudden was a completely different player when they put him in that 10 role, showing why he's been so good all season.
That's where he belongs, isn't
it? Yeah, it is. Asensio, okay, he did a couple of moments, but he didn't do anything of the likes that Rogers did, even in the time he had in that role. And Marlon looked a player that's sharp enough, who's clearly come from a team where he's had some minutes and was really unlucky with that opportunity. Watkins again, it goes under the radar, the work he does for Rogers, for Marlon, to have that space. He's up against 2 of the best this evening, and he's meant that he's tried to occupy them both. It's a difficult task.
You know what? I'm intrigued by Ollie Watkins. Let's have a discussion about him, because he's seen off John Duran. He's had that threat and stayed in the team largely when John Duran was around, and scoring goals off the bench. And I hear some Villa fans before tonight's game saying, well, Rashford has shown up well when he's come on. He should be starting ahead of Ollie Watkins. I don't understand the disrespect to Ollie Watkins, because he's been brilliant for Villa, hasn't he?
He has. It's really interesting, the sort of mindset of a forward. And he went through a difficult spell in where the fans even here were calling for Duran because he was coming on and scoring. Watkins, maybe that's knocking his confidence in terms of, I'm starting the games, but they all want Duran to play, and then you sit on the bench and watch him come on and score the winner and get the adulation that comes with that. When you want to be the main man, it's what you thrive off, it's what you live for constantly. I think it knocked him slightly, and all of a sudden he's kind of seen him off as such, albeit an incredible transfer for Villa, and he looks rejuvenated again, because he then puts back on the shirt as absolutely the main man. And when you feel like that, and you're confident, and you've in your own ability, which I think he is, he then looks again the player that he was last season. So sometimes these moments test you, and it's how you can come through them.
No, but the Villa fans will compare Ollie Watkins of this season with the Ollie Watkins of last season. I mean, Villa as a team have scored 17 goals fewer than they had at this stage last season in the Premier League. So that's a drop-off of about 35%, and that's significant. Now, Ollie scored 19 Premier League goals last season. He's now scored 12 this season, so he's just about on target to score the same number of league goals. He scored quite a few in the Cups and in Europe last year. They were in a much easier European competition, of course. But they'll look at it and go, well, he got 27 goals last season. He's not even halfway to that in all competitions this time around. So that is the level of frustration. But I totally agree with you. He's shown tonight why he has to be the main man through the middle, and I think there's a better balance about Villa when they've got Rodgers at 10, they've got Rashford on the left-hand side, Marlon, I would say, on the right, and Asensio would be the player that I wouldn't pick of those big hitters. But I think Watkins has to be front and centre. I mean, he's scored more than 80 goals for Villa. He's got more Premier League goals on this ground than anybody else in history. And I know everything comes to an end, but I don't think it's come to an end yet for Ollie Watkins. I think that he has to be the main man.
It is harsh comparing to last season. A hat-trick against Hibs in the Conference League, easier than trying to score against Bayern Munich and the like. And Villa have done very well in the Champions League this season. No need for a playoff for them. Ollie Watkins, who was wanted by Arsenal, is an Arsenal fan. He's done him a little favour scoring against Liverpool tonight. Maybe that's why Arsenal left him here in the window. It's time now for us to pick our man of the match with Enterprise Rent-A-Car.
Man of the match on Talksport with Enterprise Rent-A-Car. Whatever the mission, home or away, Enterprise helps over 120,000 people every day.
Villa 2, Liverpool 2. Dean Ashton, who's your man of the match?
I'm going to give it to Alexander-Arnold, and I know he only played just over an hour, but he just, again, every time I watch him, especially in the flesh, he's doing things that others are just incapable of doing. Seeing things that players can't see, the weight of pass into midfield players, that's the perfect side, whether it's left or right, for them to be able to turn. He got forward, he scored his goal. I just think he's such a wonderful, wonderful player. And we talked about City and Newcastle that they've got to come. We're talking about a right back who could be the difference in these big games. Tonight, again, for me, he showed his class.
Is he a right back though?
I'm not sure.
I don't know. I mean, he didn't start at right back when he was a kid, but he is now, and he's shown us that he is a brilliant player. He's our man of the match from today's game with Enterprise Rent-A-Car.